Hello, everyone out there in the podcast and streaming world. My name is Techie.
And I'm Talon.
Should we be very dark and brooding for this episode of
I-
the Techie and Talon show?
I mean,
Yeah, let me get right.
hang on, I'll try. Wait, nothing's happening. Sorry, nothing is happening whatsoever. Nothing is. No, look, we can be dark and brooding, but like it's really hard to be when you got no hair and
You can be very dark and brooding, but without the hair,
I mean,
you're just.
I could just try to put this down. Look, I got a mask.
You can just be vengeance. I'm vengeance.
We can be vengeance. We can be vengeance all we want, but like, we're not Patterson. Definitely not Patterson.
Oh, all right. We'll get into that very, very, very shortly.
Welcome.
Welcome.
One and all.
Yeah, so we want to fully disclose now, if you didn't see the title, this
This is
is
gonna
our
be full on.
the Batman spoilers, and I'm going to re-emphasize that. We're going to be spoiling the hell out of this film, and what a film it is. I mean,
this is an incredible movie. Like, I can't even.
we have waited so about maybe 3 years ago we found out that we're getting another Batman movie that was supposed to be. So this movie was supposed to be part of the DCEU.
It was supposed to be part of the
Originally.
it was supposed it was originally supposed to be part of the DCEU, but unfortunately, a lot of things happened with Ben Affleck behind the scenes. You know, he was dealing with very traumatic experiences of life, especially with his with his marriage, his alcoholism as well really ramped up. Just a lot of problems.
Like, I do really wish I could still see that script at least, because
I really wanted to see that.
We had Deathstroke. Like,
we had
insane.
Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke, and I can't think of anyone perfect to play that character. A character that has been so beloved by people, and I love Deathstroke. He's one of my favorite freaking villains. Still, he's not as cool as Taskmaster is, because I like Taskmaster. He's one of my favorites, like assassins. But like Deathstroke's really cool, and it's just sad that we're not going to see that now. But after seeing this movie, I don't mind. I would have loved to have seen it, but we got something
again,
beautiful.
We will get to our final, well, not final thoughts, but we'll get into that to do with this movie very, very soon. But
this movie feels like a breath of fresh air.
We waited
like a breath of
3 years
air.
ago. Yeah, 3 years ago we found out this movie was being made. Then we found out Matt Reeves was directing this. Then we found out
that
Robert Pattinson was going
cast.
to be Batman, and there was a lot of outcry for that. I think more than Affleck, to be honest. And
it's because
and I can see why people did. I mean, a lot of the film goers, well, over the superhero stuff in particular.
Yeah.
I'm really watching a lot of other films, to be honest.
Yeah.
They'll just be watching a lot of. I mean, I'm not putting everyone into a box, but probably a lot of them will just be going, "Yep, this is just another superhero film. We'll go and see that." They're not really watching like these indie stuff, and to me, Robert Pattinson is a fantastic actor, and he's not Twilight. But what they were looking at was, the boy from Twilight.
And that's the problem. That's the problem that it's a problem I had when I first saw the casting. I was like, Robert Pattinson from Twilight. But then I thought, hang on, no, he's done other films beside that. He's done some really great films. Also, again, around the time he had done a
What If the Elephants is a really good film.
Oh goodness, my apologies. My light decided to play up on me. Sorry about that. Okay, so one of the films that he actually done at the time, before the Batman came out, was a film he did with Tom Holland. And he played a villain in that one. He was really good. I've forgotten what it was. I need to really watch it. But I've seen some of the scenes from that film, and his acting chops are fucking good. Also, he's got a weird Louisiana accent, but it's so haunting. Just he's like this like really messed up priest that's just done some really horrible things that I won't say on here because I don't want to spoil the movie, and also they're really quite gruesome. But I need to watch the film in full to understand the context of the story. But I will say this, so I had my doubts about Pattinson until I saw the camera test.
Yeah.
I think the camera test.
I think that was the same thing with everyone though. Everyone saw the camera test and went, "Oh, hang on. This could be something special here."
Absolutely. And a lot of people thought that I had some people, it was like after the camera test had only just come out, it was like 2 days after. Some people were rumbling saying, "Oh, it's just a stunt double in the suit." And I'm like, no, that's Pattinson, man.
They wouldn't release a video of a stunt double. Anyone that's a stunt double can make a post like that. They purposely released that to prove to everyone, hey, this guy is our new Batman, and he's got the acting chops for it, for sure.
I remember criticism from a lot of cosplayers about how the suit looks, and I can understand it, because again, I know a lot of people didn't really like how, the cowl looked or stuff like that, but after seeing the movie, I love the suit now. I really do. I love the suit. I reckon it's a fantastic iteration for all of Batman's suits all over the years. I mean, he's done a lot. The chest emblem is different. I love how it's just wings. There's no ears or anything. And I think we're going to get that in the future. Because remember, though, if I remember correctly, the first time they did Batman Begins, his chest emblem was different to what the movie promotion was. Movie promotion was a different symbol compared to the one he wears in the film. They changed that in The Dark Knight, where the symbol on his suit is the one that matches the film's promotional marketing. And I like that. Although I didn't like the size of the symbol. I found it too small, like right there, like Superman's suit in Superman Returns. But again, it fit the suit, fit the narrative. They're going for a realistic take. This film...
This, though, I think...
It takes Batman
and... kind of realistic, but this movie is different.
This.
But look, we saw it as an advanced screening last week. Last Wednesday, we did release a little video of our out of theater reactions. So if you didn't check that out,
non-spoiler.
Go and check it out.
Yeah. Now, throughout this talk, since then, so we've had a lot of time to kind of refresh us in our brains and that. So how we're going to,
and I've now seen this film.
You've seen it like 3 times, haven't you?
3 times now, yeah.
3 times. I've already seen it once, but I remember everything because again, I've waited for this movie for a long time. So the idea for this, with this whole discussion, is basically we're going to go over point by point. I'll read off some points, how I feel about them. Tech will read off some points, how he feels about them. And just kind of get in the nitty-gritty of this film because we need to talk about it. Techie needs to talk about it because he can't stop talking to me about it. And yeah, I'm just excited to talk about it. So let's go. How do you want to begin?
We made a night out of it, though, didn't we? The advanced screen.
Oh God, we made a night out of it.
We ended up going out for dinner prior, and went to grill.
Yes, I do.
And
we got the Bruce Wayne burger.
We got the Bruce Wayne burger, and yes, of course, I did keep the little paper that the burger came on.
Did your fiance say anything about that?
She noticed it, and she goes, I thought it was from the burger. I was like, yeah.
I knew it. I said to you when we were at the restaurant, I said, your fiance is going to say something about this.
I said,
and you were like,
she's probably going to kill me.
Yeah, she's probably going to kill me. But then I said, do you care about that? No. No. But the burger was really freaking good. It was a little bit spicy. God, did we went from entertainment, now we've gotten the food.
I mean, so if you guys want to, I think it's still available at Grilled. It should be, considering it's only been out like a week. But yeah, dude, it had like it was called Hawthorne hot sauce. So yeah, it had hot sauce on it. So that's why it was.
So that's what it's called, the Hawthorne hot sauce. Yeah, it was actually quite nice. I'm not a fan of spicy food, like spicy sauces and that, but I actually liked it.
Yeah, you know me, like I can't even handle sweet chili. I know that sounds so wussy, but it's something I can't. But I ate that like no tomorrow. Either I was just really fucking hungry, or my mind was just on the Batman going, let's eat this food. Let's go see this film.
After you ate that burger, did you feel like Josh? Did you feel like vengeance when you finished that burger?
Yeah, I felt like vengeance. Yeah, and then we end up going to the event screening. It's kind of dead, to be honest, for the event screening.
It was kind of dead, but then it started to pick up.
Yeah, there was one guy.
Our cinema.
Batman, though.
I know, I saw that. I giggled a little bit. I'm like, I don't blame him, because again, it's a Batman movie that a lot of people were waiting for it. It went through development hell.
Dude, I went to fucking Uncharted as Nathan Drake, so I understand his mentality about it. So, good on him, whoever he are.
This it's just crazy to think that 3 years we waited because this movie was not easy for a lot of the cast, especially for the director, because a lot of it had to be done via social distancing, from a lot of far off locations and that. I love Reeves' direction.
I think we'll mention one thing in particular though about this stuff and the way this was filmed. I believe personally that a lot of the Riddler scenes that we got weren't the original scenes. To be honest,
no, I agree.
I believe that the phone stuff, all the phone calls, were not supposed to be that way.
No, because they
of
probably
COVID.
wanted...
They changed it. But you know what? It worked. It heavily worked. And to me, it made it more terrifying than anything being on a phone.
You know, it reminds me a lot of those killers that call the police station. Like, you know, the guy that would start the line, "Don't talk, just listen." Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
That the real life serial killer, he would say stuff like, he would call police stations, and basically the first line he says, "Don't talk, just listen," and he'd go on to describe what he would do. That's a real serial killer, by the way. I need to really find that out. The weeping, I don't know who it was. I had to look it up, but you know, definitely a lot of different serial killers there for Riddler. But the main inspiration that Matt Reeves talked about was, of course, the Zodiac Killer, which I think is fantastic for the Riddler, and especially with the ciphers in the movie that he would leave for Batman, for the police, and that. Which I'm just like, my God, I love the letters that he leave like to the Batman. I
think
love
we should
them.
Actually, start this off with talking about the Riddler and
the opening scene.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. Like,
all right, so let's begin.
The first 5 minutes of this film, it sets you up, and I've been, as soon as this, as soon as we saw it, I made a post out to everyone on my Facebook page that have got families, and I was like,
don't take your kids here.
Do not bring your children. And they go, why is that? I said, you'll see in the first 5 minutes why.
So,
why? Yeah, I've been saying don't bring them. But
so how I think we should...
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, yeah. All right, so let's jump in. All right, so I'll start off kind of describing, opening the scene up, and I'll let you discuss when we first see Riddler, because I know you're excited to discuss about that. So we start off with the opening scene, with the opening credits and that, and like, you know, I really loved it.
Credits.
No, I love the title, how it just appeared. The Batman.
The Batman. That's it.
And I'm like, I love it. It's straight, it's direct. The red writing, the font for it was great. I love that everything is red. Love that. The theme for Batman is red, and I love that. I really do. Yeah.
Yeah, they really dived into the red, into the whole thing.
Red detail.
There's a lot of red lighting.
You'd also notice as well, when every single character shows a different color. You know, for Riddler, it's green. For Batman, it's red. For Catwoman, it's blue. Did you notice that as well? They talked about it before last year. We did talk about that. I love that. Now, of course, how the opening scenes opens up on a family. It opens up Halloween. So it actually does start on Halloween night. Opens up on a house, really nice, beautiful house, and we find out it's actually the mayor's house.
You thought it was the Wayne Manor at first.
I thought it was, but I was just like, no, that wouldn't make any sense. Why
because
would
of what
that
I
be
told
happening?
You with the prequel.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It turned up in the mayor's house. And, you know, he's in there on the phone talking, you know, he's watching this press conference about, you know, he's got a mayoral candidate, he's in an election, and he's really scared he's going to lose. And, Techie, what happens next as he's pacing back and forth on the phone? Keeps that shot.
Yeah, so,
pretty
much, you are watching the news from behind the mayor's back, right? And then he turns off the TV because I think he was just getting the shits on with it, really, to be honest. Because they were favouring the other candidate more than anything. And so he just got the shits off and turned it off. And then he got a phone call as well. And he walked over to pick up the phone. And then right behind, it's black, but all you see is just the Riddler's glasses.
And that was so haunting.
It was so terrifying.
I remember looking over at you and your eyes just glared up. You're like, oh shit, he's there. Like, he just appeared out of nowhere. And I was just like, man, this guy they're really going for it.
I think we should talk about, though, too, like, with that first shot that you're talking about when you're looking at the house, you're looking at it through his eyes. You're looking at it through the Riddler's eyes. You hear his breathing.
You can hear the breathing, which I've found so haunting. I found just terrifying. But it's just that scene alone, like him just appearing there. All you can see is just his glasses, and he just stands there.
Oh, and he's just watching
him. Doesn't say a word.
He's just watching him, and he, the mayor's on the phone, still going on. Hangs up.
Silent.
The music just cuts out. It just.
That's silence.
And you're
the silence is deafening. That silence is so deafening. That's what made it so good.
Well, it wasn't just that. It went quiet. The music just went dead. It was all silent. It was dead silent.
I felt
And
my
then
heart racing.
The Riddler
He screams.
the Riddler scream and just whacks him on the back of the
Yeah,
head.
whacks him on the back and kills him.
Oh fuck! So the shot that you see in the trailer, when he with the gaffer tape,
with the duct tape and that, yeah.
Sorry, the duct tape, yeah, with the duct tape, yeah. Fuck! It's just it's
the way he looks at it.
Though, it was just like ASMR. It was
just like,
and that was it. It was cut to the next scene. You're like,
yeah.
fuck!
And I'm like, well, that's the Riddler, everybody. Family fun for everyone.
The whole audience was just like
quiet. Everyone went quiet. No one spoke.
Yeah, everyone.
You know for a fact that's how it. You know for a fact as well. That's how you open a movie when
if
no one's thinking.
I think with this opening as well, like I think everyone believed it too. Is like at the end of this opening, you're like, "Fuck, this is what we're in for."
This is what we're in for.
What the fuck are we in? Like,
I know.
This is insane.
This is insane. Yeah, no, I was so hyped. And then, of course, we move on to the next scene, and I love
starts with "Something in the Way" by Nirvana.
Yep, Something in the Way by Nirvana, which I love that song, how it fits with this
I've been listening to that a lot since the Batman.
I've been listening to more of the Batman by Michael G.
So have I.
I've been listening to that as well.
Actually, on Saturday night on the way to go see the Batman again, I went on the motorway. I played the highway scene music. We'll get to that. But I played that while driving. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, I feel like him now. I picked up that if you listen to Something in the Way and then the Batman theme, that dun 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 dun, it's a very similar. So Michael Giacchino actually took a lot of influence from that for the Batman theme. That's why it gets used.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was very interesting.
Yeah, it worked.
I also one of the most interesting things about this opening is Rob Pattinson's Bruce Wayne Batman narrating, writing his journal. October. He's been doing this for 2 years. I love how he's just talking how he's like a nocturnal animal. Spends all of his time out there at nighttime. I love the scene where he's just walking through the crowd, got a mask up, kind of like a drifter, and that going through like all this
Halloween. You know who it reminded me of actually?
What did you remind
me of the first guy from the promotional images for Watch Dogs.
Of Aiden Pierce. Yeah.
It reminded me of
that. I love that as well because it's Bruce, just being a nobody, just hiding in plain sight. And I've never really seen that before in any Batman movie besides only, Batman Begins and a few other films.
But even in Batman Begins, though, it was hardly done.
It was minimalist. It was minimal. Very minimal. But I also love as well how he's just, this is him. This is what Bruce is really like. He keeps to himself. He doesn't really talk to anybody else. He barely talks to anybody outside of being, being Batman. He rarely talks to anybody when he's Bruce. Even when we're at the funeral scene. I think that's rubbed. We will get to that. But I think that rubbed off on a lot of people because again, this is a Batman that is so different because Matt Reeves wants you to make it feel like, and it really does work, that Gotham is hopeless. That you can't save the city.
And that's part of this next scene is that he's talking
2
about
years how
and he starts talking about the bat signal, and there's a lot of crime going around in Gotham, and you see a guy go into like a convenience store.
He goes to rob the bank and he looks in the shadows.
No, not a bank, but a convenience store. It was a convenience store. He goes in there, tries to rob them, wearing like a pumpkin head or something like that.
Yeah, he's wearing like a pumpkin head, kind of like a ghoulish green pumpkin head.
And he looks and sees the bat signal, and
then he looks in the shadows.
Yeah, is because Bruce is saying how that the bat signal isn't a
It's not.
calling.
It's
It's
not.
not just a calling. It's a warning. And
It's not just. It's not
you
just.
see-
It's not just a signal. It's a warning
yeah, and you see multiple different aspects of around Gotham of crime going
of crime.
around.
You know, like the
Each
guy
and
doing
every
graffiti and
one
that.
of them are looking in the shadows. They are fucking terrified of him.
Yeah, and I loved as well how he's they think I'm hiding in the shadows, but I am the shadows.
Yeah.
And I love that so much because it puts that fear in their
I
mind,
was like,
going,
fucking
oh,
all right,
shit.
Leonardo, hold the fuck up.
like I love that because it really just perforates that Batman is just this urban myth, this supernatural like force of nature, like an unstoppable force, and I love that so much. And then we get to my one of my favorite.
We also see the guys on the train.
Yep, just hanging
like
out. These
the
clown goons.
paints going on.
Yeah, and they're kind of like got this one with like the half face,
like
and he's
essays,
like
really.
They're like essays. Yeah, they're on the Bean Lee line. That's what they're on. Probably looks like Bean Lee translation. No, actually, looks like more. It looks more like that old Woodridge. It's Woodridge. Oh God. All right, so I loved how in that scene you can see that all the other guys there are just goofing around and just being absolute assholes for everybody.
But it goes to that one shot of the guy that's got half the face painted.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't like it. He doesn't want this lifestyle. But again,
speaking of that guy, actually,
do
you know he's also in another project?
What's he in?
He is in. I'm pretty sure it's in Titans.
I think so. I think so. I'll have to double check it. I'll have to see.
I'm gonna look that up now.
Yeah. But I loved it as well because they get off the train, they go beat up this other guy. They want to initiate this kid.
Yeah,
they want to initiate.
Kogo. He's in.
Yeah, he's playing Tim Drake. Yeah, he's Tim Drake, which I find so cool. Yeah, that was him. That's right. It is him. I do remember that. Yeah, he
like
plays
a
Tim Drake.
little teaser, but not.
Yeah,
really.
no, I love that. Not really. Because again, if it's Tim Drake, then they must have just skipped over Dick Grayson. But again, we're nowhere near that yet. So,
we'll get to this part of, eventually after we've gone through the film. About discussions of further things for the Batman films.
Now, what I loved about this scene was just, they're going to beat up this guy. They're trying to initiate this kid. He doesn't want to do it. And they're saying, you got to do it. You got no choice. And then you hear them up. And then they look over.
Like flickers. And you hear like a big bang noise. And you're like, what the fuck
and then you hear the boots. The fucking boots, man. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Here he is. He's coming. They look over down the hill, and here he appears. He just appears out of the darkness.
I didn't pick up on it properly on the first viewing, but on the second time I saw it, the guy, the leader, right, like the who are you supposed to be guy, right? He actually picks out like a big fucking machete.
And Batman's not intimidated at all.
Nah. And then as we know, you see it in the trailer as well. He beats the living shit out of this
just
guy.
Demolished it, and he says that
I'm vengeance.
I'm vengeance. And then the fight breaks out, and I really like this fight because it shows
reminded me so much of Arkham.
Yeah, but again,
like the fight style more than anything.
Yeah, the fight style. Yeah, but also another thing as well, it showed Batman still being clumsy and making mistakes, still learning, and he's getting hit in the back of the head, he's getting hit in the back. And again, but he still beats these guys up. And then
the fucking taser in the finger.
Oh my god, that was insane.
It's the guy that tried to shoot him, right? And he goes over and picks him up by the neck, shoves him up against the pole, and just tases him with his finger. Fuck.
All the other guys are just on the ground, beat up, and the kid just looks at him. He just stands there and just stares at him, and then that kid just runs off because, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he would. And then here's the thing, though, too. The whole arc of this film as well, it's not just about the Riddler. It's about... And look, people are saying this isn't an origin story for Batman. I highly disagree. After seeing it 3 times now, I'm there going, this is an origin story for Batman. This is a perfect origin story for this Batman. And the reason why, and we'll get into this later on down the track, too, but even the guy he saved is terrified of Batman.
And they want to change.
Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. And you're like, okay, well, obviously this guy's terrified of him as well, and he's a civilian, and he's just saved his ass.
Wouldn't you? This guy literally just showed up out of the darkness, absolutely just brutalized these guys, tasered one, got shot, did nothing happen, and he's wearing a bat suit, like he's got ears, got a cowl, and everything like that, and he just, wouldn't you be shit scared? This guy just demolished, like, how many guys there? Like 7 guys?
Yeah, I suppose so. And look, I think again, yeah, you probably go with the story arc later on down the track. But yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, dude, fuck. That whole scene in general was just amazing, and for years we've been seeing the villains are actually terrified of the Batman, and we didn't really understand why. Like, we knew, but we didn't at the same time really see why.
Now we know why.
Why they were terrified of him, and then this film just shows it. It shows it.
It shows that, but I love how we break off into the next scene where, he sees the bat signal and they move off to the crime scene. And you see that POV shot behind Gordon, and everyone's just looking and staring at Gordon, but they're not staring at Gordon. They're staring at who's behind Gordon. Batman's walking down there to a crime scene in the mayor's office, and all these police officers just staring at him. And mind you, these police officers don't like him. They don't want him there because they think they're embarrassed because there's a guy out there in a bat suit who's doing a far more better job than them, and they don't want him there.
Yeah, I think there's that element, but as like any other superhero, they're vigilantes, and cops don't like vigilantes.
No.
Because
I love how that one. I love it. I love in that hallway scene. That cop standing in front of Batman just stops him. He's just like,
whoa, there, pal. This is cop's business or something like that.
And then Gordon's just like, he's with me.
He goes, you kidding me, Lieutenant? He's with me. Let him in. Goddamn freak. And that was the actual first time I actually thought, no, I'm kind of in agreement with you here. Is when he's still walking through the little door, through the doorway. You're like, yeah, from behind that, he looks like a fucking freak.
Yeah.
While walking, like... just by the back of him. Like, yeah, no, I get that, 100%. Now we got to talk about more stuff to do with the Riddler. Fucking hell, Paul Dano, honestly. He's knocked it out of the park. You mentioned earlier, though, about the Zodiac Killer.
I love that. Yeah.
What did I show you the other day? The unmasking. The unmasked of the Riddler. The way that they portrayed that. What did I send you?
It reminded me. You said it reminds you a lot of Mark David Chapman.
Now, if you guys don't know who Mark David Chapman is, he's the guy that killed John Lennon.
You basically shot him outside of you. I love it's scary because I know a lot about that, particularly with the photo that that Chapman got with Lennon hours before he killed him. He actually before he shot him, he said, "Mr. Lennon," and Lennon looked up at him. Lennon actually saw who it was, the man that killed him, and shot him right there. It's still haunting to think about.
Yeah, dude. Like, so you go into the scene, and
this went back.
Gordon's just talking to the coroner, and he's like, "What's
yeah."
And you just see Batman just walking around, already scanning for evidence.
I love it as well. He's like, excuse me, and Batman just stares at him. He just looks at it.
Well, yeah, that's because there's all this blood written up on the walls, on the floor, everywhere. And it's about the lies and everything like that of Gotham.
Yeah.
And then,
I love that you see what the mayor looks like.
Well, Gordon's like, all of this blood's coming from his head. He goes, not just his head. And that's when, he goes, excuse me. And he pulls off the paper bag, and his thumb's been severed.
Cut his bloody thumb off.
And he was alive while that happened too. That's what Batman said.
He was alive while it happened. He didn't die outright. Did they say what caused his death? Was it the blunt force trauma, or was it the blood loss? Do you
I
remember what
think
they
it's
said?
both, dude. I mean, think
Mm,
about it. You've been hit over the head majorly by a murder weapon, which we'll end up saying what it is later. And then, yeah, dude, your head, you're not your head, your thumb severed. Like
yeah,
that's definitely,
definitely, yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
fucking
I
devastating.
love as well that you see this film shows Batman's true detective side and then better than any other movie, and I really wanted that, and I think it fucking
We
delivered for me.
finally got the Batman we've always
We
wanted.
finally got the world's greatest detective. Again, though, he's not at that level of being the world's greatest detective, but he's a very smart guy. And I loved as well how he's just, we didn't know how he was gonna have his detective vision or anything like that, but we see that later on, which we'll get into. But he's going through the scene and that he's kind of just looking at everything and he's giving out key points and that, describing everything. Basically, he's smarter than any other guy there, even the coroner.
My favorite one was the photographer that was
Mm,
taking photo of all the evidence, and
mm,
he noticed a bit of blood and he had a look at it, and she looked over and saw that he looked over, and then she walked over, took a photo of it, and then kind of just followed him around,
mm.
taking
Just trying to
photos
get.
of everything he's looking at.
Yeah, so basically he's noticing things that no other cop has noticed. Like, how would you not notice? How would you have noticed the bloodstain on the ground? Batman noticed it because, like, again, he knows this shit, and I love that as well. He's picking up on small little details that are crucial for this crime, because again, Riddler leaves stuff behind that he wants people to find. But again, just because he's the Riddler and he's very smart, even the smart people make mistakes. The Riddler has made mistakes. He's made a lot of mistakes throughout this entire time in the comics. That's how Batman's managed to catch him. Even though he's extremely intelligent, he's got a high IQ and stuff like that. Even the most smartest people on Earth still make mistakes. Even Batman does. But the good thing about this scene is just it really shows just how the madness of the Riddler is consuming him.
That's when
It
we
really is.
and then we get a our first letter.
I love that. To the Batman.
Riddle
Anything this
one,
meaning.
and
Yeah, real one.
it's what does a liar do when he's dead?
He lies still.
He lies still.
Mm.
Um, can we also
Then of
talk
course,
about the commissioner?
I know he just walks in as absolute just. For any short
He
scene,
is
he's an
pissed.
asshole. He's
He was
pissed because
pissed.
he just stands there and just like looks. He just stands there and all huff and puff and like trying to get in Batman's face, and Batman's just no chill. He just stands there and just looks at him. And he's just like, "The fuck you gonna do? You can't do anything."
What was the commissioner's name? I've had a mind blank.
Savage, Pete Savage.
Yes, Pete. Yeah, Pete.
Yes, so Pete
Um,
Savage. So that's the name of the commissioner.
yes.
Give me a sec. Let me look it up.
Yeah, Pete Savage.
Yeah,
Played by
Pete Savage.
Alex Ferns. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he comes in pissed, like really pissed. Going, I want him out of here. And then that's I've done, I've stuck up a lot for you because of the past that we've had and everything like that. And then that's when he finally gets out of the little bit of rage and sees the mayor,
Yeah. And
which is his good friend.
hmm
Um, he goes, "I want him gone," and that's when we find out the press is there and everything like that, ready to go with their statements and everything like that.
yeah,
And actually, that was my bad earlier. This is when we get something in the way by Nirvana is here.
I love that. But
Um,
before we get to that though, the one thing I love is just when Batman looks into the room and sees
yes,
the mayor's son,
Mayor's son.
it reminds him of
So much
himself,
of him. Yeah.
so much of him. And there's a few scenes like that, particularly with that scene where he's in the
Then there's
bat
the one in
suit.
the funeral scene.
When he's not in the bat suit, because again, like that kid probably doesn't even know who Bruce. Well, probably knows who Bruce is. Probably doesn't understand what happened to him because again, he's only young.
Mm.
But it's kind of crazy what happened to. It's kind of crazy how the mayor's kid parallels to what happened to Bruce. But Of
Yes.
course,
But before
we
we get into
see.
that, because we hear about that a little bit, like just after this little scene that I want to talk about is him riding the bike back to Wayne Tower, because that's where he's headed.
And
Wayman is no longer is not around, and we'll get to why in a minute. Well, not in
mhm.
a minute, but later on. And yeah, something in the way is playing, and yeah, that's when we find out that the stuff that he has for his detective,
Yeah,
it's a little what do you call it? It's for your eye. What do you call them?
what is
Contact.
it? Yeah,
Contact lens.
contact. Yeah. So he has
It's
contact
a
lens. Yes, that's
computerized
exactly
contact
what
lens.
computer with contact lens that records everything he sees, and he goes to the computer and starts to record everything to begin on the Bat computer. And I love that. I love how he rolls into the Bat cave, and it's not even a cave; it's an old train station. I
Yes.
love that. I love
Now,
how it's just
a
an
little
old
bit
train
of
station.
detail on that train station too. It was actually the train station um, for the Waynes. It was their own private little train.
Yes, it was. It was their own private train station.
Yeah, that they
Mm.
used because they had their own personal train as well, which is kind of cool.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, that's when we find out it was actually the same day that this
Mm.
murder happened of the Waynes. It was the same day. That's why there
Mm.
was a lot of resemblance and a lot of hurt, I think, for Bruce in this in that scene where he sees the kid, because it's the same thing. It's happened again.
Mm. I'm just checking out. I'm just reading the official Wikipedia for it. For the Batman, just learning more about the cast. And just seeing if there was anybody we missed out. But Plot helps me with narrating the scene. So of
Well, the
course we've
next
gone over.
scene, the next scene is when Alfred shows up. It's our first scene with Alfred.
I love that.
Um, and Alfred sees, the the murder scene really through the computer and through the lens.
And I love how this message. The killer left a message for the Batman. I love when he said it. I was just like, oh my god, he just said the Batman. I love that.
He goes,
And he said,
"You're
why is he
probably
writing to you?
famous then, aren't you?"
Yeah,
Something like that.
you're becoming quite a celebrity.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um.
Can we talk about Andy Serkis as Alfred for a second?
Yeah, of course.
It's like I loved him as Alfred. I know he only had a short amount of time in the
And
movie.
you know why I've only put the two together? I think Alfred might have been in a bit more, but maybe I think due to scheduling conflicts, that's why he's not
Also,
that much.
yeah, but again,
Do you
he
know
was
why?
wasn't he Andy Serkis doing something else at the time?
He was directing Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
That's right, he was too. He was directing that at the time, doing the Batman as well. But again, for the short time we had him in the movie, he was great. I love that. I really love
We
how.
only needed him in there for a short time, to be honest.
But you can see the tortured soul. You can see Alfred really trying to be there for Bruce. And in the beginning, he says to him, if this continues, it won't be long before you have nothing left. And that's true. Because again, Bruce only has Alfred left. And, he has all these vast wealth and stuff like that. But again, Bruce is so drawn in on this, on being the Batman. It's crazy.
Can we also talk about that as well? Is that we see him writing down in a journal. Did you also? I'm not sure if you picked up though. Like the journal is actually exactly everything he said as the narration.
Yeah, I love that. I did notice that as well. I really like that. That was really good.
Yeah, when we hear the narration, he's actually writing down that book.
Yeah,
and we see everything behind that as well. Like prior, I think it's closing off like that chapter of the film of the movie.
Did you also notice on the book as well? It says the Gotham Project.
Yeah, the Gotham.
No, it calls it the Gotham Project, which I was just like, that's so Bruce. He would literally have that as a project. Meaning as a project.
At the same time, though, too, that's a good cover up. It's a Gotham Project. It's not saying that he's Batman. Nothing like that.
Yeah, meaning if he
gets caught,
if he gets caught or anything like that, there's no evidence. And I think he would have a fallback plan in case he ever, in case they ever came to the cave and that the cave would self-destruct, everything be destroyed, and that he'd probably have another cave. But again, he's been doing
Not
this
yet.
for 2 years now. And again, he is still young. He's still learning the ropes to be Batman. We see a lot of that throughout the movie. And, you see Alfred trying to be there for Bruce, and Bruce is just like, you're not my father and stuff like that. He really is tortured by what happened to his parents. It still tortures him to this day, and always will. It always has. We see that a lot for all Batman movies, how he still feels traumatized by what happened to him. And I don't blame him. But you see Alfred try to be there for him, and he notices a cipher, so Alfred starts to solve the ciphers for him. And then we see inside Wayne Tower, and I will say this though, it really has such a good gothic vibe to the Wayne Tower.
Didn't it?
I said to you in the cinema, it reminds me a lot of Keaton's Wayne Manor. Even though Wayne Manor and Wayne Tower, completely different. I liked it because it just reminded me a lot of the setting for a lot of the Do you remember in Batman Returns, the opening scene when Bruce is just sitting in the living room and the bat signal just shines into the living room?
Yeah.
I loved that gothic look for Batman, and I loved how they went for that again subtly, especially with the dark visuals and that, because there's no real bright, colorful lights in this. There's no bright scenes. It's always dark and
This
just
is the
murky.
I think you're right. There's only two bright scenes. It's the final, like the ending, and this
which
scene.
I love. In this scene, yeah. But I loved how Gotham looked. Okay, you've said it and I've said it. Gotham is a character in this, and it fucking delivers. Sorry for my swearing. Basically, Gotham is quote unquote hell on earth. This is a city you do not want to live in, and they literally make it feel like, oh man, this city sucks. I don't want to be here. Like, you've got like crime on the fucking high, and you've got a vigilante on the loose.
I kind of had like this thought. It kind of had like a imagine Broadway, right? It's colorful, it's bright, it's a beautiful part of New York. But imagine Broadway post-apocalyptic.
Yeah,
that's the best way to kind of describe it.
You know what it reminded me of? A lot of those scenes where Batman's fighting those clown thugs and stuff like that. Reminded me a lot of Detroit. That's what it reminded me of, Detroit. And Detroit is not a safe place to live. It's one of the most unsafe cities in the United States of America. I mean, for goodness sake, the original Crow movie, they couldn't even film in Detroit because of just how dangerous it was. There were shootings that were happening there nearly every single night and day. It's insane. So that's why they filmed somewhere else. But Gotham's not a safe place. But you see Batman and the police department there absolutely trying their hardest to help the city, trying to salvage it. And again, in the beginning of the movie, you see, you find out Bruce's parents were trying, Bruce's dad was running for mayor and that, and of course, they died. It's really tragic. But then this movie really delves into more of the truth behind that. We'll get more of that a little later on. But we got to talk about how just Bruce is just not really caring about being Bruce Wayne. He doesn't want to be Bruce Wayne. He doesn't care about Bruce. He doesn't care about it at all. It has no effect. It's got nothing. And that's why when I think Alfred said to him, "Oh, the executives are coming. They're coming here," and it's like here.
One of my favorite things was like two of my favorite things though in that scene though is when he first arrives, when Bruce walks out into the area.
Where it's bright and he just puts sunglasses on.
Well, that, but I just love that Alfred doesn't give him a hello. He just goes,
"No,
there's fresh blueberries there."
Yeah, there's fresh blueberries there. I love that. He's just like,
feel that tension, and then he goes, "What's that?" And then that's when you find out, Alfred's really trying to solve this cipher.
Yeah, he's really trying to solve it, and I love that. I love it. Alfred, it's not a film where Alfred's against him being Batman. He's actually helping him and supporting him. He wants him to do the right thing. And I think towards the end of the movie,
it's also that it's just the first time that we really hear more in the films, other than I think the Snyderverse, but the first time we've really heard that in film, in the film versions of Batman, that that Alfred was an agent, and he wasn't.
He wasn't an agent. Taught him how to fight and everything. He taught him how to fight, how to learn all these skills and that. That's why Batman knows how to do these, all these detective stuff because Alfred taught him in that. Plus,
And that's
probably got
how,
his
yeah,
things as
that's
well.
how Alfred's doing the cipher.
Yeah, and I love how he's solving it really quickly, and then they both, when they go down the cave together, they both figure it out.
Yeah.
And I love how they work together to
What was
figure it out.
you were mentioning uh, about the people that hold the money? What's the name? Coming to visit.
What coming to visit? Oh yeah, the executives. Yeah, the executives
Yes,
are coming.
yes, yes,
Mm,
yes.
mm.
Yeah, and what did you say again?
He's just like, the executives are coming, and Bruce just like looks at him, just totally annoyed. He's just like, here, and he's, why? And Alfred is erupting. He's just like, because I couldn't get them to come to you, because I couldn't get you to go to them.
Yeah.
And then Bruce just looks at him like, I don't have time for this. That's so different, because if it was,
and that's when he notices the cipher. Yeah.
That's when he notices the cipher.
Yeah, and then they go downstairs into the I call it the beta bat cave. The
beta bat cave. Yeah, the beta version. Because again, only second year and he's still learning and that. I mean, and it's just got the computer in that. You can see the Batmobile still in pieces, by the way. They're still building it.
Actually, no, it is, but it isn't at the same time.
Yeah, he was still doing finalizing stuff and that, and I really love that as well.
In the novel, you find out that he actually got it when he was like 17.
Yeah, he got that car when he was 17. You were saying that to me.
Yeah,
I love how it looks, how it's just up on a ramp and everything. I really love that as well.
Top over everything like that.
Yeah, top over everything, working on it.
Yeah, and then they try and figure out some other stuff with the cipher. Couldn't get it right, and then I can't remember what he said, but then they changed it and it ended up being drive.
Drive, yeah, and that answers to them. Flicks over the next scene. Gordon, this scene alone made me happy. It's just Batman and Gordon.
Pure detective Batman.
Pure detective Batman. Just them walking through a garage and just
looking at all these nice fucking cars.
All these nice cars and that. Then they find the car. Then they find the mayor's car, of course.
All of those were the mayor's cars.
All those were the mayor's cars. They all and then look one particular
one that they needed.
The one they needed, and they're looking through the glove. And they look for the glove box, and
they see the weapon that they used that the Riddler used to cut off.
Yeah, he put it there, and then he finds it. Yeah, he put it through a tire. I love that. But also another thing as well.
The dad.
How about the dad joke that's coming? Thumb drive.
He's looking for a USB. Opens it up. The car finds the USB slot. Picks it
out. It's a thumb. It's the mayor's thumb, and he's like,
thumb
drive. And I'm just like, did Batman just make a dad joke? Oh my god, freaking vicious dad joke, because it wasn't just some.
It gets worse though, doesn't it? It gets worse. He gives it to Gordon, and Gordon's like, oh Jesus, and plugs it into the computer, and it needs a passcode. Except the passcode requires a thumb.
So he has to use.
It was a fingerprint, so he had to use.
He had to
use the mayor's severed thumb to unlock.
Yeah, I love that as well. We have a comment here from Fuzz Aldrin saying, "Hey," and I'm like, "Okay, hello, welcome to the spoiler podcast for the Batman. If you haven't seen the movie, what are you doing here?" Sorry.
Please stay.
Please stay. But no, honestly, it is an interesting thing because I just love just the look on Gordon's face shows that he doesn't want to pick up that seventh thumb. Hey there, we hope you're enjoying it. I have nothing good to say about. Oh no, you have nothing good to say about the Batman. Interesting.
Okay.
What didn't you like about it, Fuzz? What didn't you like about the movie? Curious about that. But no, like I said, it delves it deeply digs deeper into it. You find out more about it. I like how every single time they get a clue, I feel like they get closer, but also get further away from solving it every single time.
Well, not only that though, but it's when they open up the drive, you hear like a whoosh sound, and he's like, "What's that?" And all these photos of the mayor and
they get sent out.
Gordon's email address. to all the media outlets.
All the media outlets, and I'm like, oh no, that's gonna fuck with everybody. That's what Riddler wanted. He wanted that.
Yeah, he did. And then we see in the photo Oswald Cobblepot.
Penguin. Yes, we see Colin Farrell's Penguin. Can I? The makeup effects of it were incredible. I don't want to rant, but it was too slow, too bleak. No Joker and Phoenix. This Batman could stop the Riddler and Penguin. Too many Batman movies.
Okay, I mean, I kind of get your point. I mean, there are parts where it's slow, and I do agree with you. But at the same time, I've been wrapping my head around ways that you could cut this film. But the thing is that it all ties together.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's so hard to be able to cut a lot of the scenes.
I agree. It'd be really hard to cut
Phoenix stuff, though, it's a different world.
It's a different. No, Joker and Phoenix is one that said like during like the it's a whole different world.
Yeah,
really.
there's that, but they also mentioned that was just going to be a standalone film. There wasn't going to be anything to tie into anything. There wasn't going to be a sequel. It was just a standalone film.
Yeah.
And I don't think. I do agree with you. There are a lot of Batman movies, but this one, to me, is a completely different Batman film that I think needed to be done. Finally,
I agree.
To be honest,
I don't think Joaquin
Phoenix. I do respect
Phoenix.
your opinion there, Fuzz. Like I do respect it.
I don't think Joaquin would ever really do a Batman. Would do Joker with a Batman. I don't think he would do something like that. I think Joaquin would just like to do what he did. And I love Joker. Joker's great. It's a great film, and Joaquin Phoenix did an absolutely brilliant job.
I'll definitely check that out there, Fuzz. I'll check out that film for you.
What? Skip the Batman. Watch I Saw the Devil. No, I really was excited for the Batman, and it delivered for me. It was an incredible film. That's just my opinion. I really liked it, but I will definitely check out. Definitely, I Saw the Devil. I will check that out. I'll see if it's good. Holy crap! So Colin Farrell is the Penguin. First and foremost, can you even recognize Colin Farrell?
No. And normally, even when he does put on a accent, normally in his films, you can still hear that little bit of Colin Farrell.
I couldn't even reckon it with this one. I couldn't picture it because all I just saw was Oswald Cobblepot. I just saw the Penguin. It reminded me a lot of like Danny DeVito's like performance, especially with the comedy, because he was funny. The Penguin was hilarious.
Frank Reynolds.
Oh God, just yes. Just. I just love it because he's just funny, especially when Batman goes to the club. Like we get the club fight, like how he just
that's the
peers out.
That's one of my favorite things. He goes.
He peers outside of Iceberg
Lounge. That's the Iceberg
Lounge.
It's going to be hard to get in there without a warrant. He's like.
Batman just looks at Gordon. Is like, yeah.
Knocks on the door.
Then. He's like, you know who I am.
You know who I am. Yeah, I have an idea.
Yeah, I have an idea. And he just shuts the door.
Shuts the door, goes back, gets another guy, shows him, and he just punches him. And
he just beats him up and just walks in. He's just walking through like he doesn't care. And then he just gets into a fight with all of the guys. Everyone. Just beating up everyone. I love the takedowns. I love how he just uses the environment to his advantage. Like, he's bashing
also
poles
and that. On that though is it's
oh god,
the lights.
Good.
It's all
the lights are good. It's all red. It's flickering lights and that. And I'm like, man, this must have been a pain to film, but they knocked it out of the ballpark, especially with how the fight is and how they just keep it on one shot going down that corridor.
This guy, which we won't get into yet, points the gun at him, tells him to stop, and everything like that. Grab him, Batman gets the baseball bat, throws at him, hits him in the nose.
I know. I love that. He
goes to take another punch, and that's when you see, the Penguin going, "Whoa there, sweetheart."
Whoa there. Take it easy, sweetheart. I'm just like, did you just do? And he just leans over with his hand like, I'm ours. So cute. Yeah. I just love it because you don't see Colin Farrell at all. The only thing I recognize of Colin was just his eyes. That's it. That's it. That's the only thing. And I loved it because I can't believe underneath all that makeup is Colin Farrell. as the Penguin, and I loved that so much. It was impressive. And of
Then
course,
we
you know,
go to the and then we go to the scene where
office,
they you know,
they're
Batman's showing
talking
them
in
the
the
photos and talking and everything like that. Then Catwoman shows
Penguin.
up. Yeah, Selena.
Selena Kyle, Zoe Kravitz. Selena Kyle finally shows up, and she was
She's just silent the whole
fantastic.
time.
She was
terrified of the Batman, and Penguin's like, "This is vengeance."
It's just Mr. I'm just talking with Mr. Vengeance here. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's my new cosplay. I'm not going to be the Batman. I'm just going to announce it. Everybody, I'm going to be cosplaying Mr. Vengeance. I love that. I just love that. Like, me and Mr. Vengeance here just talking some business. And I'm like, are you really trying to be like a mob boss to Batman? You know, Batman beats up mob bosses. And then he just starts to get rough with him. And it just reminded me a lot when, was it Arkham Origins?
You know, this is my favorite part, though, with why he got rough, though. He goes, because, you know, he's asking about the woman in the picture. And, he goes, you know, I don't know who she is. You know, she goes, well, she's now a suspect into the, you know, in the whole murder of the mayor. And he goes, the mayor? Oh shit, it is.
Oh no! Oh shit, it is.
And that's when he pushes him up against the glass. The glass kind of shatters a little.
Yeah, and like
he just rips into him. Really, like
he just rips into him.
It's like how it is.
Yeah, tell us how it is. Tell me what it is. Yeah, you try to fucking tell the truth. I love, you know, it reminded me a lot of that scene out of Arkham Origins when we fight through all those screens to get a penguin. He just picks him up and just starts.
It's an underrated game.
It is. I loved in that scene how he's just, you know, he's just throwing penguin around. He's just beating him up and stuff like that, and he's just asking him questions and that, and he's just beating the hell out of him. And I thought that was going to happen, but he doesn't do that. He restrains himself. He's just like, you know, yeah, and then he leaves. But then he follows Selena Kyle.
Yeah, because he noticed the boots on Selena.
He noticed the boots on Selena.
In the photo.
So
yeah, then he goes and follows Selena. Now, actually, as I said earlier, though, Fuzz, there was one scene where I think that they could have cut it a little bit, and it wouldn't have affected the plot more than anything. And it is some of the stuff to do with Selena. You go to Selena's apartment. You see that Selena actually knows the girl. That part needs to be in there, 100%. But it's the whole getting unchanged sequence. I don't think you need all of that.
No.
You didn't need all of that shot.
No.
Just show us like a little bit, and then you'll be fine. But yeah, then we go into the next scene after that, though.
Speaking of that, though, I'm keen for a break. I need got some things I need to do first. Techie, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. How long are we going to be?
We'll do about a 5-minute break. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right, then. We'll be back in about 5 minutes, guys. Don't worry. Everything's okay. Just that, you know, a break calls for it. Techie understands.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you guys in 5 minutes.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I've got some homemade Kahlua right here.
I'm just gonna drink some water because it's still muggy as all hell tonight.
Oh man, this thing's delicious.
I enjoy your drink, your beverage.
Oh, I will.
Alright, so let's deep dive back in.
Yeah. So where were we up to?
I think we're up to
We were back at the murder scene at the Maze house.
yes, at the
with,
maid's house.
Selena, breaking into it.
Yeah, and we get a
Firstly,
first
we'll look at Catwoman.
yeah, how you know,
Again,
I love
being a good jewel thief.
being a good jewel thief. Like she's, you know, got the save tools, got the drill, and she's drilled a hole through it. And she's, you know, looking through it, getting the combination right. And I love how that's how you would really do it, realistically. That's how realistic you would do, you know, breaking into a safe. You drill right through where the pins are, so you can turn it and see at the same time to get the right pins. And I love how the second she opens the safe, Batman's just like, "You're really good at that," and he just drops down. I love how he just drops down. He drops down very silently. Like you don't hear him at all.
Can we talk about the grapple gun too? That's how
I love the
it's,
grapple gun. It's in his gauntlet.
Yeah.
I love the gauntlet because we all thought it was going to be in that holster thing there.
Yeah.
But it's not.
No.
There's something. I don't know what's in there. Was it another grapple gun he's got there? I'm not too sure what's in there.
I don't think so.
No. But I loved as well how it just like he just comes out of his wrist and he fire. That's how he has his grapple. I love that. And can we talk about the fight scene itself between Batman and Catwoman? It was just really good. It's just like
it was shot well.
It was shot well. How he just she's trying everything she can, but he's just blocking everything, and then manages. She tries to go for I think she tries to go for a head scissors takedown, and he just slams down on the table and just takes away the passport.
Did you like
for
the
her
squeak as well of the leather?
I was surprised by that sound. I was like, they really added the squeaks into the leather. I'm not even surprised by that one. But no, the interesting thing is, the reason why she broke in there was not to steal money or jewels or stuff like that. No. It's actually to get the passport back for her friend to help her get out of Gotham.
Again,
I love that.
Is the one that's
seen in the pictures that were uploaded with the mayor. Which, again, she's had to stay indoors because, again, her entire life pretty much has been ruined because of what the Riddler uploaded.
Yeah.
And I think the whole Riddler thing doing that, I think he thought he was doing the right thing, but he didn't understand the repercussions that he probably is going to ruin a lot of people's lives.
He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't care.
He does not.
He does not care. No, he doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. He thinks he does, but he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. Then we see Batman trying to hide her because the police officer comes in. He goes shh and brings her around the back and just silences her.
Yeah, just silences her, and I'm like, oh man, I feel. I mean, come on, you're hanging out with a wanted a vigilante that's been around Gotham for 2 years, and she doesn't want to be there. She's frustrated. She's like, the fuck you doing? What are you doing? Like,
but I love the fact that he also sees the goodness in her at this point in time.
Yeah, it's not. She's not. She's not selfish or anything like that. She's nothing. She's not selfish or evil.
At the same time,
she is, but you can see her human side. You can see her compassionate side as well because she cares about her friend. And then when they get back to Selena's place, boy, the place everything's trashed. She's her friend's been kidnapped, and Bruce is Batman's just going through the scene of that and just going through it and get that scene with all the cats and how he just looks out at the cats. He's like, you got a lot of cats. She's like, I have a thing for strays. I'm like,
but that's when we also find out the commissioner is dead.
Yes, we find out Commissioner Pete Savage was kidnapped by Riddler, and he was put into.
This scene here was actually the most terrifying for me
because it felt like It felt like Saw. I felt like I was watching an episode.
Literally the fucking Jigsaw in this.
Jigsaw killer, especially with the trap he had on his freaking head. It was like a giant rat trap.
It was
and
a rat
rats.
maze.
I don't know. Yeah, it was a rat maze. How did he die again? Like, how did he die in that trap? Like, what happened? Do you remember what happened?
His face got scratched off.
That's right, it did. It got scratched off by the. Was it by rats?
It was by the rats. Yeah.
He's trying just like fuck. That was brutal. That was brutal as hell.
Oh fuck yeah, it was. But then we also, see the rat trap, and that's when we get our next riddle. And the riddle is: follow the maze until you find the rat. Bring him into the light, and you'll find where I'm at.
Yeah, I love that.
The answer is reveal who the police informant is to the public, and the riddler will reveal where he's been hiding.
Yeah, and
it's actually the most important riddle for the whole film.
It's the
pretty
most
much
important.
From here on in. It's the main riddle they're trying to solve until right near the end. Really,
because again, remember the whole movie is Sal Maroni's already been arrested. He's already in jail. Was he dead already? Do we know if Sal Maroni was dead
I don't
already?
think he's dead. I think he's been convicted and he was in prison. Probably in Blackgate.
I'd say in Blackgate. And I love as well how, again, Batman's probably already helped out with that massive drug bust of the century. Then we start getting whispers that maybe this drug bust wasn't, was set up to make it look like it was successful. Find out more about that later on. We start delving more into it, and then, Batman decides to go to Selina to get help for to get inside the Iceberg Lounge. So he puts in the contact lens in her eye so he can see everything. Yeah, she sees while he waits outside in like some mobile command point, like some type of like super spy or some shit like that. I love that. How he's doing surveillance.
Another hotel room like right nearby.
Yeah. And I love as well when you're seeing that.
Actually, now I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about something that he was right near the Riddler all along.
Yeah, he was right near Riddler the whole time.
I'm positive that he was at the same hotel where the Riddler was, and we'll get to that later.
I can agree on that one because I love as well that.
Why is everyone staring at you? Feels good, doesn't it?
And I love as well how she's walking through and she starts to notice a lot of people in there, and then she starts asking about her friend and that, and everyone's kind of being hush-hush.
Yeah. Like, let's not like jump the gun though. We first see Kenzie.
We see Kenzie
at the door, who turns out to be, and he's also the guy that broke the nose earlier.
Batman broke his nose. Yeah, Jesus.
It turns out he's an off-duty GCPD officer. Then he lets her through, and she's looking around, seeing people. They're all from other different parts of like the government and everything like that. Then we look and see Gil Colson.
Yeah, District Attorney Gil Colson, played by Peter Skarsgård, which I think was great casting for him. I love him. And, he's obviously high as a freaking kite because he's on drugs and that. And he's just there with hookers and that. And, like, Batman's just, like, you're seeing Batman there. And he's just shocked. He's seeing all these political. DA, yeah. He's the DA. He's the DA. What the fuck's the DA doing in here? But again, I guess the DA likes. Yeah, I guess if the DA is off duty in that. I mean, yeah, but also not a good place to hang around when there's fucking criminals in there. Yeah. And he's trying, he's talking with Selina and that, and then Selina gets up and leaves, and that Batman's
because her friend got mentioned.
Her friend got mentioned, and as she's walking, who did she bump into?
The Penguin.
The Penguin, yeah, but also who else?
Carmine Falcone.
Carmine Falcone, played by this is the first appearance of Carmine Falcone, played by John Turturro, out of all actors. And I'll be honest, I was a little bit
from
a comedy movie.
Transformers.
Wholesome Transform. Are we talking about depends on which version you want, the first movie version or the horrid sequel, Dark? What's the second one called? Transformers.
I prefer the second one. The second one.
No, Revenge of the Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen. That's right, Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen. The worst movie of all time. I hated that film so much. It's so bad. But again,
nothing compared to the third one.
Nothing compared to the third. Oh god, the third one was laughably terrible. All right, but stay tuned for the Transformers for the RIP if we ever decide to bring that back, which we will. Don't worry. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. John Turturro in this movie is incredible. He plays such a haunting and yet calming but terrifying Carmine Falcone, and he's just like
I wouldn't say terrifying yet.
Yet later on he does. Later on he lets out and you see what he truly is like. But he's just a monster in disguise. He's just a horrible person who does not care about. He doesn't care about. All he cares about is himself. That's all he cares about is himself.
Yeah.
And he's talking with Selena, asking how she is and stuff like that. He's saying, I'm good and that, and it's nice casual talk. And then she goes to confront her friend and that and find out what's going on. She's just like telling her to be quiet about it. You never know what's going to happen and stuff like that. But then, she goes to the bathroom, just takes out the lenses. It's like, screw you. Just like takes out the contact lens and Batman's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
And it just goes silent.
And then what was the next scene after that, Techie? Do you remember what happened after that scene?
I think roughly that might be when we.
Oh wait, no, I know where it goes to. She goes outside and trying to get down a taxi, and that's when Gil Colson goes out and follows her, and he's trying to offer her a ride. And I remember in that scene, I was just like, "Don't take the ride, get a taxi.
Purely because
don't take the ride."
Yeah, that's right. Yes. I know. Yep, I know what we're talking about now. Yeah. The part where in the car you see the Riddler move.
Yes, that's what freaked me out.
And you're like, oh fuck.
No, Selena, don't get in that car. Don't go with him. Fucking get a taxi. She gets a taxi, and I was like, "Whew, I'm happy."
It's like she knew.
She had a sixth sense. That she knew for a fact not to go with him. Yeah, like a cat, yeah. She knew, don't go with this guy. Even though he's just on drugs and that, you don't know what's going to happen. Especially when she's hearing about the Riddler going around and doing shit like this. So he gets in the car, he turns around, sees him, and, he knocks him out. And I love how...
He doesn't knock him out, though. He just blindsides him, and he's just, like, more of in a daze more than anything. Because he's alive when the Riddler straps the bomb around his neck.
Jesus Christ. How thick was that goddamn fucking bomb collar he was wearing?
It reminded me of Deadpool 2, the neck piece that goes around to stop the mutant powers. It reminded me of that. I feel like it probably was that. They just repainted it. But, yeah, that terrified me.
I love how you don't actually see what happens, how it's just all blurry.
Yeah.
It's just all blurry, and everything is just, and then it zooms out of the car, and you see the flashing light in the car, like the blue, the blue and red.
The scene ends with the tape once again. Just, and you're like, fucking hell.
It's just terrifying.
And then the next scene, we're back in Wayne Tower, the Beta Batcave, I like to call it.
Beta Batcave.
Yeah, you see Bruce in a nice suit. Trying to, rewind and figure out some stuff, and the whole thing with Catwoman, well, with Selena. And then Alpha comes down, and notices that he's, all dressed up, sees that he's got a new friend.
Is that a new friend of yours? I'm not too sure. Alright, so the cool thing about this movie...
and then we found, he hasn't got any cufflinks. He couldn't find the cufflinks. He's going
he gets the cufflinks.
Because, he goes to the funeral purely because serial killers always like to show up.
And look at their work.
Yep.
And he was right, too.
Oh, yeah, he was right.
We'll get into
But
that.
yeah, the cufflinks. I love them so much. I've got my own now.
You got your 3D printer. You still have yet to color them, don't you?
I'm just sending them at the moment.
Yeah, you're sending them at the moment. How are you going to color them? Are you going to like dip them in a gold and in a kind of like what you use for your Mandalorian one with the nice pigment? Are you going to get like a gold pigment powder?
No, I'm gonna just spray paint it gold.
Yeah, go for the I wouldn't say gold. I'd say more of a golden copper.
See what I was
So
going
look
to
like
do?
a
I was going to go gold, and then I was going to weather it up a bit with some. Like,
That's a good idea.
Things like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Cosplay Chris, everybody. All right. So the cool thing about this scene,
Not fully though, because I haven't used sand for my driveway.
Dirt from the driveway. Right. The cool thing about it is, we move to the funeral scene and just like Batman is fucking. Bruce just shows up in style. Nice car, nice suit, and
But
like
he's seeing people, and there's people on one
they're
side
shocked.
supporting, the Riddler.
Supporting the Riddler. I was like, oh my god, this is insane. And I think I said to you in the cinema, this is what he wants. This is exactly what he wants. He wants people to support him, and we will get more into that later on about this. Now, the cool thing about when just Bruce gets out of the car, everybody's just like, oh my god, it's Bruce Wayne. What? What, the Bruce Wayne? All the reporters start flipping out, going nuts, like asking questions. He just walks straight past him. He doesn't care. He just walks straight past him. He doesn't want anything to do with him. Although, you know what I wanted to happen in that scene? It happened in The Dark Knight Rises when all the reporters see Bruce Wayne out in public. I love how he has the EMP device on him, and he just shuts all the cameras down. You remember that scene? I love that. I would have loved that, but again, it's still a funny scene. But then we see, he notices Carmine. Another car pull up behind. Well, no, not behind him. Not in front of him. In front of him.
No, but it's behind where his car parked.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Behind him, yeah.
Yeah. So Penguin gets out, Carmine gets out, and then we see Selina Kyle get out. Now, I love how her face stays hidden.
It's not Selina.
It's not Selina. Wasn't it Selina?
No, that's what they wanted us to believe.
They
wanted us to believe it was Selina. That's why he walked up, because he wanted to talk to her.
Yeah, he wanted to talk to her.
But then there's this whole thing between Selina and... We forgot to mention that. There's this whole thing between Selina and Falcone. And the reason why they got into an argument... why Batman and Selina got into an argument is because he's pushing on her, going, why have you got a relationship with him?
How do you know Carmine Falcone? You have a relationship with him. And Selina's just like, no, I don't want to talk about it. And that's why we don't have a relationship. And then Batman, and that's when she stops communicating with him. I forgot to mention that bit. But anyway, he gets up close.
Part, I only just realized. But yeah, that's why he goes... that's why they shot this a specific way, so they make us also believe the same way as Bruce is believing that that's Selina.
I loved also as well, fucking how they're approaching, and Penguin's just like, whoa, what are you doing?
He goes, careful,
like, they
boys.
Stop.
You've got the
careful,
Prince
boys.
Of the City here.
Careful, boys. Got the Prince of the City here. And you feel that inner mob boss coming out of Carmine, out of John Turturro's personification of this character. And I love that as well.
I do love it. It's like, Oz, this is Bruce Wayne. Ain't that right?
Ain't that right? I feel like I loved it with Penguin. You get friggin'... Did it remind you of Robert De Niro's Al Capone from Untouchables a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. So I wasn't the only one feeling that, because I just reminded me a lot of that. I just kept thinking of Robert De Niro. Can you imagine if Robert De Niro had been the Penguin instead of Danny DeVito? And they went for this look. I mean, I love Danny DeVito. I loved his personification of the Penguin in the Burton films. That fit for that universe.
About that one, though.
What? Danny DeVito or De Niro?
DeVito.
You're not a fan of DeVito? You're not a fan of De Niro?
It's just weird, and I don't know.
I know. I loved it. I'm a fan.
Not weird like that.
I know, but this penguin feels like that mob boss, that inner crime. Because again, he's only small time in this, but you see it. You start to see it.
Again, though, like a lot of these characters, and I think that's one thing though that I love about this movie though is that
it's not just an origin. It's an origin for a lot of the villains. That's what raised
that. But when you normally hear though that there is a film with so many villains,
You get scared. You
You
get scared because
this isn't gonna be good writing.
Spider-Man 3, anybody? But no,
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh yeah, but again, they fit here so well. Catwoman,
and well, that's the thing
well.
though. Like
Penguin fits here well.
Is that they are all crucial to the storyline.
They
That's
all
why
are.
it
They're
works.
all connected. They're all connected, which I love. I love how Carmine. Bruce is just like usually don't see you out in public. You worried someone's going to take a shot at you, and Carmine's just like, why? Why would they?
And then they go on about the relationship that he showed up at
when he showed
Thomas
up at
Wayne's
Manor.
Wayne up and
Wayne
Thomas
Manor.
Got the bullet out of his chest and everything like that.
And little Bruce was watching upstairs.
Yeah.
I loved as well
and then he's talking to Oz as well, and Oz is like, ain't that right?
Ain't that right? But the thing that gets me the most is when Bruce says, well, you worried someone's going to take a shot at you, and Carmine's like, why would they? I'm like, man, this guy has got the city. Falcone's got the city by the balls. He knows for a fact that no one will mess with him. No one will.
Yeah.
How would you? And we find out later on why. But again, we get through the funeral scene, and everyone's just like chatting. The mayor candidate. Let me check.
Bella Real.
Bella Real.
Bella Real.
Yes.
Sorry, Bella Real.
Bella Real.
That she's been trying to get in contact with Wayne for a while now. They've been saying that he's got to be contacted or something like that.
Yeah, so Jeremy Lewison. Yeah, so he portrays Bella Real, a mayoral candidate for Gotham City. I love it as well.
I love that he's always in detective mode though. Like even as Bruce, he's keeping an eye on everything.
You noticing the weird comment up there, Techie?
Yeah, let's forget about it.
Yeah, let's forget about that one.
Yeah, that he's just watching everyone.
Yeah, he's just watching everybody. And, he's just observing. He doesn't say a word. The only words he ever spoke of is when he's just talking to Carmine. But after that, he doesn't talk to anybody else. He doesn't even talk to... Oh, wait. He says, a few things to Bella. But other than that, he doesn't really talk to anybody else. He's there. He's not Bruce. He's always in Batman mode in this movie. And I really love that.
Yeah, so do I. And yeah, again, we notice the kid. They want to pay his respects.
Yeah, the mayor's kid.
The destruction going on outside.
And you're like, what the... I'm thinking to myself, what the hell's going on? What's happening? And then Bruce looks up. And he sees one person just standing there, looking down.
And it's him.
It's him. It's the Riddler. And all of a sudden he sees the car come crashing through. And Bruce runs and saves the kid. The car crashes right up the top there. And all of a sudden he just straight up just, the police just all pull guns and stuff like that. They're all...
Well, that's actually... Sorry, just before that, though, that's when Gordon's saying to... it's not the new commissioner, but the guy that's in charge now. Saying that Gil Coulson is missing and everything like that.
Yeah, Gil Coulson is missing. It's always...
And it's
it's interesting as well because just...
Yeah, that's when Gil Coulson comes out.
Yeah, and it's it's Coulson, and it's he's got a bomb around his neck, and the phone starts ringing. Everyone starts to panic when that phone starts ringing because they think the bomb's about to go off. Yep. And they're like, they're just like, the phone just keeps ringing. Man, also, Riddler must be a determined caller because how long does that phone start ringing? How long does that phone ring for? Hours.
It was.
He just has that phone on speed dial, keeps pressing. It's like he's probably on the other end going, "Come on, oh for God's sake, come on, Batman, answer the phone." I just thinking of that scene. He's just like standing there, holding the phone. He's just like, "I'm in costume. It's hot. Come on, you bastard, answer the phone."
It's now been 5 hours. Where the fuck are you?
I would have loved it in that scene when when he answers the phone, he just yells it, going, "The fuck? You make me wait that long? You're an asshole. Also, you gay." But no. So again, it flicks to another scene. It's nighttime now. You know, they got the bomb squad. Gil Coulson's just sitting there. He's just sitting there,
Terrified.
you know, terrified, stuff like that. And then he looks up, starts hearing the footsteps again, and Batman walks out. They notice him on their camera, and the guy's just like, what the hell is he doing here? What's he doing here? And he's walking towards him. And, like, you know, he finally answers the phone. He's just like, you know, Riddler's just like, you came. I've been trying to reach you.
So, pretty much the combination is done remotely, and there's certain numbers that need to be done. It's a combination lock. And for the District Attorney Gil Coulson, he had to get 3 riddles correct in the space of, 2-3 minutes?
2-3 minutes.
And it will unlock the bomb that Riddler has strapped to his neck.
Yeah.
So the first riddle was, it can be cruel, poetic, or blind.
But if it's denied,
it's the violence you may find. And the answer is justice.
Justice. The answer is justice.
Then the next one was, if you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye? Bribe.
Lie. Bribe. That's right, it was bribe.
And since your justice is so select, please tell us which vermin you're paid to protect. The answer was the rat. But he wouldn't actually give up who the rat was. So in the end, Gil Coulson decided to die because, not only that though, he was terrified not just because of the Riddler, because if he also said something, he was still going to die no matter what.
Yeah, like, didn't he say that? Like, even if I do it, even if I tell them, I'm dead anyway.
Yep.
And like, man, I was just thinking to myself, dude, just say it. But then I realized something. He'll die anyway. Even if he does say it, he'll die anyway. Because again, remember what Riddler said? He's live streaming to everybody. So they know. The whole city was watching.
Yep.
Yeah, it's on the news and everything. And all of a sudden, what happened to bomb blows? I mean, it fucking blows Batman away. Holy fuck.
Then we go into... Yeah, Batman gets blown away as well. The next scene, you wake up, he's in the police.
They're all surrounding him. Like, they try to take... Yeah, they try to take off his mask.
Yep, and people are like, no.
Back off, leave him alone, give him space. He gets up and he wants to fight everybody. Holy fuck, he gets up so quickly. Wants to fight everybody. I love that.
And yeah, we get that lovely scene with Gordon and Batman. Going,
you know, he just
punch me in the face. And then he does. I love. He just
punches him. He just punches him in the face, and then he gets out of. And he just runs out of. You know, and I love as well how you see him, how he disappears, how he just runs out of the police station. All the coppers are chasing him and stuff like that, and then we get to my favorite part. He just repels right up the stairs. He's just like straight up. Yep. I sent you that clip? How I loved it as well. It was on Instagram. How someone took all the themes from all the Batman movies, like 60s. And I love how all of them fit. Even the 60s theme actually fit. But the 89 theme and the 1993 theme actually fit for me. I love those ones. But I love that scene. And then we see him get up to the roof and see him up high there. And he looks down. He gets freaked out. He's scared of heights. Because he's never done it before. And then what does he do? He breaks out the wingsuit and he just dives right off. He has to. He's got no choice. And he glides through off and
perfect.
Still not 100% perfect. Still in testing phase. And he's flying through and he's gonna, pulls the parachute just below a bridge. The bridge catches it. And oh my god, he slams right down onto the he slides right down on the pavement and just absolutely brutalized. Absolutely just.
But then
he fucks himself up. He's okay in the next scene. I'm just like, what else? He gets his cape back as well. Like, there's no, denting or damage to the suit. I'm like...
What I love is that, Gordon comes up and he goes, you could have held back your punch. He goes, I did.
I did? Yeah, I love that. He's like, you could have held back your punch. He's like, I did. I'm like...
Then we find that the answer to one of the riddles, well, not the riddles, but it was one of the ciphers. It was "You are El Rata Alada."
Yeah, you're Rata Alada, which is literally a website. I think.
But that's
I
when we
listened.
also go and find. We go to the scene that they're working together with the penguin. You know the scene I'm talking about.
Which one's that one again? I can't remember that scene.
Where they're working together and Selena shows up. Takes out the two guys. Gets the money out of the bag. I might be jumping the gun, but we have been live for almost 2 hours.
Oh my god!
So I want to kind of get this over. Not over,
let's get towards the end because we've been chatting a lot.
We want to be talking, but Catwoman talks and everything like that. Talks to Batman. Then opens one bag, sees her friend dead.
Oh man, that was. Dude, the look on her face, she just looked crushed. Like her friend's dead. Like she's in the back.
And then gunshots start ringing out.
Gunshot starts ringing out.
Going, vengeance!
Vengeance! You think you take me? I forgot you got the sound effects now. But then, Batman gets taken. He gets shot in the chest. He gets taken down. Selena's trying to stay behind there, trying to stay hidden in that.
Same with Gordon.
And with Gordon, Gordon's taking shots in that, and then. Oh man! Hang on. I got a sound effect for it that I downloaded, and it's just sound only. So give me a second. Let me see if I can get it going, because I was listening to it.
That sound design alone, I think if it wasn't for the sound design, the Batmobile wouldn't be that great. I think.
Okay, first and foremost,
because of the sound design,
I can't get over that scene of that car just firing up because the look on Penguin's face, because he thought he had. Oh, fuck, this guy's got a car, and it's not an ordinary car. It's a monster. And it is. It's literally a muscle car with a jet engine strapped on the back. I call it a jet engine because it is. It's a fucking V12 or I don't know what version. I don't know what type of engine it is. It's a powerful engine because he turns on, there's a fucking blue flame coming out the back. The engine lights are red underneath. The lights come on. He just goes after him. We get the best, one of my most favorite Batmobile chases of all fucking time.
I say to be honest, one of the best car chase scenes. I think
one of the best car chases
in a long time. Anyway,
in a long time because it's all fucking practical. It's not stunt. It's not CGI. It's nothing like that. It's all practical. I love how he's just darting through the streets and Penguin's trying everything he can to get away with him. To get away from him. But how?
I like that he actually got away at one point though. He turned left. And Batman's just like, fuck yeah, I'm going this way. And then just slams into the side.
And he's like, whoa! This guy's crazy!
And then he just knocks the back of the car.
Yeah, but the best part is when he just, all the trucks and that are starting to move out of place. And he's just like, yeah. Hits the afterburner and goes flying through, and
but that's because the Penguins just put the brakes on.
It's like I got you, take that, you psycho, and just like comes through the frame, and the look on Penguin's face like, and then
knocks him,
flips the car. Just see the car flipping, like it flips like 20 times, and then we see Penguin upside down. Looking out. And
Can we talk about Batman inside though when it's being flipped though? I love that the camera was actually upside down the whole time.
I love that. It actually stayed in the car. The cinematography was so good. Plus, I want to go back to the car going through the flame. I love the fact that Reeve said, we actually did that for real. Meaning it's not CGI. It's fucking real. Those flames, that car going through, that was a real car going through fire. And I was like, just Reeves, my God, you're a madman, but also you're a genius at the same time. And I tell you what, one of my most favorite scenes in Batman, in any Batman movie, this one has the best scene. After the chase is over, Penguin's just lying in the car, it's upside down on its roof, and we look through his view, and we see Batman walking down, but it's upside down. And he's just walking towards him slowly. And
Again,
Penguin knows he's... And I love how the Michael Giano's soundtrack that starts to build up sounds, build up the tension, and it's just building and building. He just gets closer with the boots and everything, and he leans down and looks in, and Penguin's just like, "Oh fuck." So we then find out as well that, we find out more about, Radulata. Turns out they were wrong. Talking about, not a rat with wings. It's a website, but also Radulata doesn't mean it's a rat with wings. It also can mean any other rodent. And we all thought that you were talking about Batman, but then we find out as well.
That's later Batman we find out.
But we'll also find out as well.
It was a penguin, and that's why they've gone to the website and they've gone a penguin, and that's when we actually get the next riddle. And that is, I grew up from a seed as tough as a weed, but in a mansion in a slum. I'll never know where I come from. Do you know what I am? An orphan.
We find out Riddler's an orphan,
which I do. Because again, it's in the book.
Yeah, find out Riddler's an orphan, and he stayed at he was at the orphanage. So, of course, they go to the orphanage, which we then find out, and I love when you told me this, that Wayne Manor is the orphanage. It's been abandoned for years, and we find all these fucking, like...
It was part of the renewal.
Yeah, part of renewal.
Yeah,
part of renewal. And we see a lot of signs for renewal is a lie. And we do find out why it's a lie. And it's fucking crazy. And we find... It's really sad when we go. We find all these people that are homeless, they're drug addicts, and they're just living there. And all of a sudden, we go into the big major theater.
That's typical abandoned places, though.
Yeah. But we go into, there's a movie playing, and it's Thomas Wayne.
At the renewal announcement.
The renewal announcement, and then he starts to find out more about clues and that, and then all of a sudden, he finds out there's going to be a clue.
Yeah.
It's something about Wayne Manor, about Bruce Wayne and that. He finds out that something's been sent to Wayne Tower, and that's when Batman just disappears on Gordon. Like, he just vanishes right there.
Yeah, I love it.
He's just flying to fucking... Or we get one of the scenes that make me almost cry.
I think none of us expected.
I thought they were killing Alfred. I really thought they were killing Alfred as well.
They did.
Yeah, I thought they did, but turns out they didn't. And, oh my God, it was just nerve-wracking just seeing Batman freaking out, fucking flying on, just driving the Batmobile as fast again. But the really scary thing is, it was no point in the end because it had already happened an hour ago. Remember when he called? He said it's already happened an hour ago. And I was like, oh my God, he was late.
He was late.
But, it ends up, Alfred gets really injured as well. So... I love how he gets out.
Yeah, injured.
He survives. So he's gravely injured. He survives, thank God. But I love as well when we go to see Carmine Falcone, we find out that Bruce's parents are not the saints they were because.
Well, actually, we find that out in the video.
That Martha Wayne, her family is connected to the Arkham.
She's the Arkham family. Yeah, she's part of the Arkham.
She's part of the Arkham family, and she had
Her mum went nuts, killed her father, then committed suicide. So it was a murder-suicide. Then Martha has been in and out of mental asylums her whole life. And then it got found out by a reporter. Thomas Wayne went to go pay it off. I tried to pay him off. Didn't take it, so he went to Carmine Falcone.
And Falcone killed him.
Yeah.
And then also we find out when Bruce goes to see Alfred, he says him, you lied to me about Carmine Falcone. And that's when Alfred tells him the truth, the real truth. And I don't think Alfred would lie. He tells Bruce the truth everything. He tells him the truth. Says that, yes, your father did go see Carmine Falcone, but he didn't say to him to kill him. He said to do something. And when he finds out that Carmine had killed the reporter,
he was distraught.
So he went to the police.
He didn't care about his candidacy. He just wanted.
He wanted to do justice. He wanted to do the right thing.
Well, not that, but he also just cared for his,
his wife,
Martha. He
cared for
Martha.
He cared for Martha. He cared for his son. So he went to the police, and Carmine
he was going to go to the police. He was going to go to the police, yeah. And then that
Thomas
night,
and Martha. Yeah, and you realize as well that Carmine Falcone has killed Bruce's parents. He set them up to get them killed.
Yep.
And I love as well, we find out the connection between Carmine Falcone and Selena Kyle.
That's a bit later. Yeah,
we're close to it. We're pretty much there at this point. So it's in the same scene.
Yeah.
Because they meet up at the bat signal.
Isn't.
Yeah, they meet up at the bat signal because she turns the bat signal on. He arrives there.
Gordon arrived at the same time. Batman.
He's just like,
it was.
Wait a minute.
I thought it was each other.
Did you turn it on? I thought you did. So they go up there and they find Selena Kyle's got Kenzie's beating the hell out of him, and then she's asking questions like, "Why you killed my friend?" and stuff like that. I brought him to you. Don't kill him and stuff like that. Don't do any of that.
Her friend called her the night that it happened.
Yeah, night that happened. And then, you hear the voice. It's Carmine. Carmine Falcone is in the background. He strangles her. That's what he did. He strangled her. And then, what is your connection with Carmine? She just blurted out that...
Because he's my father.
Because he's my father. So her mother got with Carmine and had Selena Kyle. And of course, the really sad reality is we find out Carmine actually killed Selena's mother. He strangled her.
That's his
just
like what
it's his favorite thing to do. He did the same thing to Selena's friend.
Antika or something like that. Anika, maybe? Yeah.
Anika, that's her name. It's a really hard name to pronounce. I do apologize if I butchered it. But we find as well that that Selena's gonna go kill him, and Batman's just like, Selena, don't ruin your life over this. And then I love what she says, like, don't worry, honey, I've got 9 of them. And then she throws the guy off. Batman grapples him.
Gun,
and she jumps off and runs for it. Because she's
Can
gonna
I go back to the mansion thing though? When they open up the mansion.
Oh God.
And Gordon's got the gun drawn out. He goes, "No guns." He goes, "Dude, that's your thing."
I love that because actually, I love that as well because again, no guns. He's just like, dude, that's just your thing. Just walks in, and I don't blame him because again, Batman can defend himself, but like, Gordon can't really defend himself.
He can, but he can't at the same time.
He can, but he can't. He is a really good fighter though. He knows how to fight. But anyway, let's get back to it. So we move to like I said, guys, this is gonna be a long one because there's a lot to cover in this movie. It's a 3-hour movie. It's a 3-hour movie. We're getting there. So we move to Iceberg Lounge. 3 times Bruce has been there. Once is Batman, once is Bruce, and the next part he just sneaks in. He just goes through the door and just disappears inside. I love that.
The door behind the guy, yeah.
Slams the door, and you see him walking through the club. He's still got his eye makeup. I have to talk about this as well. When he takes off the cowl, I love Reeves' idea. Just keeps the eye makeup. He just keeps it on. I've never seen that in a Batman movie. Most Batman movies, they take it off. Like, in the Keaton's Batman Returns, 1 minute he's wearing it, next minute he's not. They've done it with Bale's. Hell, they did it with Ben Affleck's one as well, with Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice during the whole nightmare sequence.
Yeah.
One thing I love the most is he's just going through the club. He hasn't got the suit on yet. He's got the suit. It's actually in a bag that he's just carrying with him all the time. So all those scenes where we see the big backpack and like he's on a motorcycle in the dripper scenes, he's got the suit. He takes it with him everywhere he goes, and I love that as well. How it's very compact, and we see him
Just beating ass, really.
just beating ass too. And he just, he goes in the club. He's pretty much disabled. He disables the electrical system, so it goes dark. And then we
It
get
was a mix of both. Because at the same time, there's the whole conversation with
Selena and Carmine.
Carmine walked out. She was about to pull the gun out and point it at him. Then one of the henchmen, Falcone, goes, "You might want to see this. The audio recording is now everywhere on the media." And so she goes over. She goes, "Hey, Dad." He goes, "What?"
He looks over. "Hey, Dad."
And she fires the gun.
She misses because the lights go out and he ducks.
No, it happens at the same time. So I reckon both events triggered the lights to go out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then we get to one of the cool scenes.
Holy fuck, how he has the suit on and he's just walking in the dark and all these goons like shooting him, the bullets and the flak, and he's just taking it out. And
we get a hallway scene.
We get a hallway scene, but it's shot so good because it's nothing like Daredevil or anything like that.
It's effects too. That was all practical too.
It was all practical effects.
Saying that today, yeah.
Oh wait, what he did? That was practical?
That was practical.
Oh, that makes it even better. So I love the fact that all the lights you're seeing are all practical.
Yeah.
And you're only seeing the parts of Batman fighting. I love that so much.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that so much. I love that. Oh man. And he just takes down all those guys and of course, Selena's trying to deal with Carmine and also trying to deal with Kenzie as well, because Kenzie's still there being a jerk and she beats the shit out of Kenzie, and then Carmine.
No, it's not Kenzie. Kenzie's being arrested. There was another henchman.
Yeah, it was another henchman. I thought it was Kenzie. My bad.
No, man, because Kenzie's got Gordon arrested.
That's Kenzie. Right. Gordon arrested Kenzie. That's right. My bad. So she beats up the other freaking goon, and then Carmine gets a jump on her and starts to strangle her, and he tells her, I wish it didn't have to end like this. And then Batman just comes in and stops and just absolutely just pulverizes him, just stops him. And the great thing is he knows that Carmine had his parents killed, but he still stops Selena, saying, "Don't do this. Don't go down this. Don't become me. Don't become him.
Yeah,
be better than him.
Not me. It was more him.
It was more him. Yeah." And of course, I love how he grabs him and just takes him out there, walks into the entire club, and all these people who know him. It's just, I love how Carmine's just like, "You think that mask and that cape makes you? You think you can scare me with that cape and that mask?"
He's just playing. He's just taking the piss out of him more than anything.
He's taking the piss out of him, but for a fact that Carmine's fucking shitting himself.
Oh yeah.
Yes. But I love his wife.
Gordon comes in and he goes, "Really? I own you guys, boys in blue." He goes, "Not everyone," and then just all these coppers surrounding him.
Yep, all these coppers surrounding him, and then he walks out
into the light.
Penguin just walks out. He's just like, "I'm taking over all."
Rat.
Mm-hmm.
Goes,
"You dirty rat.
You got a bit of power now, have you?" And then Penguin pulls out the gun, and then
Carmine gets shot. Yeah, it wasn't.
They all thought it was Penguin.
No, it wasn't.
I didn't shoot. And you look up and there's the Riddler in the window.
Riddler, yep. And it falls back to remember what he said, bring out the rat and bring the rat into the light. Remember that?
Yep.
And he did. And then, we go to the Riddler's apartment. Falcone was the rat. And we go to the Riddler's apartment, so Batman breaks in there, goes into Riddler's apartment. I love how the apartment just looks like the Riddler just has been living there this entire time. He's been out. He was outside of Iceberg Lounge, living there, and you see all the parts, all the things, and that, and you see all these clues there, and everything, plans and everything.
And you hear there's this guy that just went out through the fire escape. That's now sitting in a diner. In a diner by himself.
Yep, and then we see him, and the police walk in. We've seen this in the trailer a lot too. Puts his hands up, and he looks at the camera. He's like, "I just ordered a peach pie, he ordered a pie or something." Yeah, I just ordered a pumpkin pie, and the police just arrest him. I would like, if I was really
slammed him down, and then you see Batman walk up to the glass, and the smile's just so fucking creepy.
It was just creepy as hell. And then, you know, they go back to Riddler's apartment. They're looking at more clues and that. And then, you know, Gordon gets a phone call and says to him, you know, Riddler's asking for you. And, you know,
Well, one of my favorite things though is
when he's holding the two IDs up.
No. It's the guy's like, Lieutenant, are you right with this guy touching the evidence? And he goes over and goes, he's wearing gloves.
I forgot about that scene. Another thing I love is when they're arresting the Riddler, pulls out the IDs and he's just like, "Which one's you?" And he's like, "Guess."
I really wish that one of them though was just a subtle hint at Nigma. It would have been cool if it was Edward Nigma and then the real name Edward Nashton. It would have been really cool, just as a little tease.
I think they'll do that in the next film. I think they will do that. I think they'll tease that. Right, so of course we've you know he's pretty much Wait. The entire film towards this part we keep thinking that Riddler's found out who Batman is, and we thought he had until we get to this scene. And he's starting to talk to him, and you can see it's a battle of the wits here, battle of the minds between Batman.
He was so close.
He was so close, but he was off by a margin. And I was sitting in my seat going, "Shit, does he know?
Shit, he knows. Him? He fucking knows." And
but then he's just
until
like,
he goes, Bruce Wayne. He's the only one we didn't get. And that's when you're like, oh, fuck, he actually doesn't know. And that's even when Batman's like, oh, thank fuck, he doesn't know who I am.
But you notice as well, in the scene, Batman's just off in the distance, just out of view at the window, in the darkness.
One of the best quotes, though, is in that Arkham scene, though, is, all everyone wants to do is unmask you, but they're missing the point. You and I both know I'm looking at the real you right now.
That's right.
Oh, going back to that scene though, when they're interrogating the Penguin though, one of the best line though is, "What the hell's this? Good cop, batshit cop?"
Oh shit! I forgot about that scene. What's this? Good cop and batshit cop?
Oh, fucking.
But no, it's just so good. So Riddler's telling him, he's telling him about everything, and then he just says, you're not as smart as you're not as smart as you look.
I think you are.
Not as smart as I thought you were. Tells him you didn't search for everything there, gives him more clues, and then Batman realizes there's more clues at the apartment, so he goes back after all the cops have left, and until the other cop's there too. He's just like, what are you doing? I love how Reeves uses silence to pull off a scene and just body language. Just Batman, cop asks him a question, what are you doing here and stuff like that. He just looks at him. He's just like, it's like, oh yeah. And then
and he's like,
he's searching.
Yep. It's funny that
I'll let you do it.
Yeah, it's carpet tucker.
Yeah, I love as well just that the clue that we see. It was there when they first walked in. No one fucking noticed it. The carpet, it's green, and Batman just looks at it. And he just starts to tear up the carpet. And that's when we see the whole map of Gotham with little blinking lights on it. And then I was just like, what are they doing here? What is Riddler doing? And you realize as well that Riddler's been planning this because they figure out the final clue that's on that hard drive with the video that was still uploading. It finally been uploaded. Hey guys, I love my ass off of that scene. It's like, hey guys. Oh
Thank
god!
You so much for all the information about the detonators.
I know. And it has like 500 followers.
What the fuck?
I was expecting oh god! Don't forget the Glad wrap. How about as well? I was expecting that scene, another tab open, like Markiplier just pops up, like, "Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier, and welcome back to Five Nights at Freddy's." But no, I love it as well. Riddler's plan. And it's a fucking genius one at that. even if he got caught, he had already got enough followers, enough people to dress up like him as copycats. And then basically, he detonated all these bombs at the Gotham City floodgates and flooded the city.
Yep.
And forced everyone into one place, into an evacuation center. And
the whole
already
back in the Arkham stuff. Yeah, you came. Who are you? Me? Nobody. I'm just an instrument here to unmask the truth about this cesspool we call a city. Unmask? Yes. Let's do this together, okay? You're a part of this too. How am I a part of this? You'll see.
How am I a part of this? You'll see. I like when he's got that voice modulator on. He's just like, you'll see. I'm like, this is terrifying. But then, even when Riddler's not wearing his costume, because the good thing is, Riddler and Batman don't even meet in costume, both of them. Riddler's not in costume when he meets Batman face to face. He's in a printing doll behind the glass.
I love your mask. I wish you could see mine.
I think we'll see that in the next film. I think he might have a new costume.
If we get him in the next film.
I hope so. I would love as well.
We'll talk about the next film after we finish this. But yeah, you were saying it's now flooded the city,
entire city, and ironically enough, it's around the time when Bella Real is at a mayoral electoral campaign.
She won.
In the middle of the city. She won, and she was there doing like a press conference type of thing, and then the city starts flooding, and everyone goes inside. And that's where all these goons are waiting inside to ambush and kill her. She's out there trying to tell people to, stay calm and that and stuff like that. And she gets shot.
I thought she got shot in the chest.
I think she got shot in the shoulder.
No, she got shot more around near the rib cage.
More on the rib.
When she gets hit, it's like her head tilted back. So you're like, fuck, she just got a headshot. Because that's where they were aiming too.
But then, Batman comes in. He makes an entrance.
It was like the bit from Arkham, the weapon, the
explosive gel.
Yeah, the explosive gel. I swear he did that. You just didn't see it.
Yeah, I love it. He just crashes in. He just drops in and just starts taking out guys.
I want that shot as my desktop, honestly.
I do. I know. How about the dual launchers he has on his arms?
Yep.
How about the dual launchers? I love that. He just has dual launchers, just fires them and just flips and just takes out two guys. And again, he's got how many guys he has to take down? These are all guys are armed to the fucking teeth.
Way too many.
Way too many for him to handle. So he tries his best. He's taking them out as much as he can. And then, he's hanging off and one guy's trying to shoot him. He has to climb around. I mean, he's got bulletproof armor on.
Uses the little explosive around one of the canisters and then created smoke.
I love that scene so much. How he just takes down all those guys and everything. And when he's trying to take that one guy, he takes a shotgun blast right through his armor and disorientates him and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then Selina shows up.
Selina sees that happening, climbs up, luckily saves him.
Then she gets,
and then he's like about to die, I reckon.
Yeah, and then he takes adrenaline.
And he takes adrenaline after he's realized somebody's
absolutely pulverizes that guy. And what I love about that scene is the absence of sound. All you hear is just
his scream.
Yeah,
and then
just him punching. But the thing that gets me the most is the look on Selina's face, that look of horror going, oh my God, this guy's going to kill him. Unless someone stops him. And she's frozen in fear. And then Gordon stopped him. Gordon grabbed him and stopped him. And he's just like, it's okay. Chill, you got it.
Takes off the mask and goes, who the hell are you? He goes, I'm vengeance. I was like,
that's when the movie...
guy. That's the guy.
That's the guy from the beginning. Yeah. And I love how...
There's a nice little tie-in.
But that's when Batman, through silence, again, Reeves loves to do things with silence and make it work.
He realizes
that vengeance and fear it's not working. He needs to do something else. He needs to be a symbol of hope. And that's when the movie just shifts. You see Batman... I love how Batman
the flood breaks through the stadium doors.
Yep.
Things are coming down. Electricity is going off.
So Batman just
he sees it. He jumps. He glides over, grabs a hold of the electrical cord.
He pulls out his chest. Yeah, and cuts
takes
it.
it and loses the emblem. And now what I love about this too is that we've
Mm.
always heard, and no one's really talking about this except for me. We always heard that the bat symbol was made out of the gun from his parents.
This one was,
Yes,
and he
that's what I'm talking about.
loses
This
it.
one is, and he
Mm.
loses it. And to me, that is an arc of the past.
Redemption,
It's
the
it, no,
past, and letting
it's not
go.
redemption. It's letting go of the past and looking towards the brighter future.
Exactly, and I loved as
That
well in
whole
this.
thing with him realizing that he can't be vengeance, he needs to be hope, and then everything to do with the whole family stuff, it's now gone. It's under the water, literally,
Yep,
with the
under the
batarang.
water with the batarang. Yep,
Literally under the water.
but I love as well. I think
And that's
that's
when
where.
he goes down, gets electrocuted. Well, a little shock. Goes
Yeah, I think the
underwater,
suit.
and
I
then
think the suit kind of repels a lot of the electricity as
yeah, it
well.
did.
Because again, yeah, I love
And
how
then yeah,
when
he
he
sees the
mm,
construction falling over, like Bella Real and
the rest of the citizens there.
the
I love how
mayor
he
and the
breaks.
mayor's son.
I love how he
Or
breaks out the
mayor's wife,
flare.
sorry. Yeah.
I love how he breaks out the flare and guides them through the waters to get to the roof.
Yeah, well, that's what I
And
love, though. Like, this is when you start to notice about hope, is that
mm,
the mayor's son, the original mayor,
mm,
his son is the first one to take
to take
Batman's
Batman's
hand.
hand. Yeah, and I
Everyone
love that.
else is still scared at that point until he does it, and then they all follow.
One bit that gets me the most is towards, Bella gives a speech about, Gotham's going to come back. We're going to try and fix the city. We've got to rebuild and that. And I just love how I love how something in the way plays again. And then Bruce narrates, tells him about, the National Guard are coming and stuff like that. And he tells about, how, vengeance and fear is not the way forward. I have to be something else. I have to be hope, a symbol for hope for Gotham, how things can change, no matter how.
Yeah, and then it's all over the media, it's in the news, and we're back inside
Batman.
Arkham.
Yeah, but I just want, before we get to
Yeah.
Arkham, the bit that I love the most is when, Batman's carrying that girl down to the structure. She doesn't want to let him go. She doesn't want him to let go. She's terrified, and he. Even though he doesn't say anything, he puts his hand.
That's when the whole hope message comes across.
Yeah, it's a hope message comes across. I love that shot when he's just looking up as she goes away. He's just staring up there. His suit's fucking covered in mud and stuff like that. And I love that scene so much. Him looking up to the future, looking up to hope, saying, we can't abandon this city. We can't give up. No matter how much you want to give up, don't give up. And then we move over to Arkham.
We hear Nashton crying.
We hear Nadia because his plan didn't work. It didn't work out, and then we hear a voice.
And then a cell window thing opens up, and you hear, "Isn't that just terrible? Them raining on your parade like that. What is it that they say? One day you're on top, the next you're a clown. Well, let me tell you, there are worse things to be. Who are you? Well, that's the question, isn't it? Riddle me this."
Riddle me this.
I love that. They into it.
When he said that, I was like, did he just he's this is a guy that gives Riddler his
the less of them you
catchphrase.
have, the more one is worth. A friend. And then they both start laughing. And one laugh in particular is very distinct.
Oh, and it was a fucking Joker, man.
And we
didn't see
Joker, but he's not actually
the Joker.
Named as the Joker, even in the credits. He's named Unseen Arkham Prisoner.
Because I guess no one wants to. I guess they're not ready to reveal him yet, but we know. I know it's him. I fucking know it's him. It's Barry Keoghan from Eternals. It is him. It is confirmed to be him. It is him, 100%. And he's playing the Joker. Now, I don't know if we'll see him in the next movie. I want to save him.
I don't want him in the next.
I want to save him for the last one. Save him for the big. Save him for the last one. Save him for a big reveal. Give other villains a bigger light. I want the next one.
We'll get to in the minute. We're almost finished with the actual rundown on the movie.
Overall,
Next scene is the final scene. Really,
one scene
is him
with
saying goodbye
Batman
to Selena at Selena's
for
mother's
Selena.
grave.
Yep. So Selena is going to be leaving Gotham. She doesn't believe the city can be saved. She thinks it's hopeless.
Where
But
does she
Batman's
go?
just like, she goes to Bloodhaven, motherfucker. She goes to Nightwing's neighborhood. But again, Nightwing's not there yet. But Bloodhaven is part of Nightwing's territory. It's the city he
It's in the
guards.
world now. It's in this.
It's in the world now.
It's in
So
this movie.
Bloodhaven exists. Bloodhaven exists. I love how Selena goes there. I love the difference between Batman and Selena is that Batman doesn't want to give up on Gotham. That just shows his determination to save the city. And Selena's just like, the city's hopeless. You can't save this place. You can't push yourself. And Batman's just like, I don't want to give up. I can't. He wants to help with the rescue efforts. He wants to save the city. He wants to protect it. Especially now because, again, half the city is still flooded. Crime is going to be in those areas, including the Penguin, who's going to be on the rise. Love that scene of him just looking out to the sun. You just see that look on her face, like, this guy's going to be taking power, and he's going to rise. He's going to become a fucking crime lord like he is supposed to be. And for a fact as well that Batman's going to have to protect the city. And he's not, and I think in the next movie, he's going to learn to not only protect the city as Batman, but also protect the city as Bruce as well, with helping with the rebuild.
Yep.
And I love that as well. It reminds me a lot of No Man's Land or even Batman Zero Year as well. Some aspects of Shadow of the Bat, which is a really great Batman comic book where half of pretty much Gotham gets wrecked by an earthquake and the city has to be rebuilt.
No Man's Land.
I love that. No Man's Land as well. Yep. The cool thing about with
the earthquake, yeah. No Man's Land is about the earthquake, yeah.
That's right, my bad. But anyway, love the
and the final shot is them riding off in the distance, going their separate ways.
And their separate ways. Selena goes outside of Gotham. Batman goes back into Gotham, and the scene just is on him. And I think he smiled, look in the mirror, and see Selena. And I thought for a second she was going to turn around.
Yeah.
Did you think that for a second there? But no, they didn't. And we fade to credits.
Yeah.
And of course, there's one last scene, one last
I wouldn't even call it a scene.
It's just Riddler saying goodbye, and then we see the Radalada URL, which again, Cosplay Chris did say as well that it's actually updating regularly with new riddles every day.
It actually hasn't been updated with new riddles for the last couple of days. What there is now, but what there is now is technically it's like a loading screen.
Oh, and there's numbers there.
That's yes. I think
I'll check it. Hang on.
One of them was one of the riddles. If you answered it, like the answers, ended up being something with numbers. But there's like Trace Radalada POS 0300CR01 Arkham. There's like all these like timestamp codes. And it's rerouting. SSH, upstanding. That's interesting. It's gone up a bit now. So it's at a loading percent of 53 now. About 12 o'clock this afternoon, it was at 47.
Hang on, I'm just going there.
So
I'm actually going to
a few more days, and I reckon we'll be close to it.
Loading RAM, tracing, hang on, boot load. Oh, that's interesting. Question mark showed up there. Tracing. Oh, man. All right, so the cool thing about it is, though, the numbers are actually all comic book editions. So 3rd of the 4th, 2022 is, of course, the release for the Batman. I love that. Click for reward. Loading. I wonder what it's loading. 53%. A few days ago, Techie, it was at 10%.
Yeah, and this morning, not this morning, but like earlier this afternoon, it was at 47. So
something's happening.
I'm wondering either we'll get some like another like an extra scene or something, because we know that they shot another scene with Barry Keoghan's character.
So I'm curious about that.
So
another cool thing as well is I love the clue as well. And we already know it's basically the first line. It's you think it's over, Bat. Something. The last 3 lines saying something is coming, and I'm already terrified. But I'm also heavily intrigued. So that was the Batman. And
now I
oh
want to
my,
talk about the sequel stuff and sequel potential. So we know that we're getting the Penguin spin-off.
yeah, we're getting the Penguin spin-off. We're also
Um,
getting the Gotham PD spin-off.
Well, no,
No, I
we're
thought
not
we were.
anymore.
We're
No,
not?
they've
Has that been
changed the
cancelled?
route. It hasn't
They've
been
changed the
cancelled. They've
route.
changed the route, and it's now going to be the Arkham stuff.
That's actually cool. I don't mind that. I don't mind it at all. Because
So
again,
I
we've already
reckon
had
we'll
a
see Paul Dano in this. Maybe,
yeah.
maybe that could be what's playing into this. It could be part of the
I
Arkham.
reckon so. I guess we will wait and we'll keep an eye on the Radulata URL on the website and see what happens. Maybe it'll go up tomorrow. I might check it tomorrow. See
I'll
what
check it
happens.
tomorrow.
All right. Well,
But
holy
I
crap.
want to talk about sequel potential too. So like
We have potential for characters that could show up. Now, first
we've
and
heard that
foremost,
Matt Reeves wants to do Mr. Freeze.
we know for a fact Matt Reeves wants to do Mr. Freeze. I really excited for that. But also, again, falling back to that website, there is one of those comic book editions is Two-Face escaping from Arkham. Now, I would love them to do Two-Face for this universe. I think it would fit.
I'm
Having
wondering
District
if
Attorney.
Two-Face has already been around.
I don't think he's here yet. Because again,
Well, it
Gil
makes
Colson
sense.
was the district attorney.
Exactly.
And now
was he the
and
district attorney after Harvey?
that is true. I don't know yet because again, we know for a fact the Joker's in Arkham, but the question is, did Batman put him there already? Have they already met? We have to wait and see. There's so many questions about this universe, but again, I don't think Harvey Dent's there yet. I think he will. And the cool thing about it I love is I think he'll come there to be the next district attorney because Gil Colson died. And again, it'll build up and we'll see eventually, maybe halfway through the movie, kind of like what they did with The Dark Knight, but, keep it more to the comic book where his face gets fucking burnt by acid and that, and he just goes on an absolute, on a rampage. He just goes around Gotham and that and just, starts to just basically just goes after people that, I don't know how they would do it, but I would love them to do Two-Face, but I would love them to do Mr. Freeze.
I think so.
Because,
I think he actually would work well in this world.
Because again, he's not really a villain. He's a tragic villain. All the villains in Batman, minus the Joker, because I don't count the Joker as a tragedy, because Joker's just insane and a psycho, and I just think he's...
a lot of them, though, are insane and psychos. I mean, look at Victor Zsasz.
Victor Zsasz, absolute...
He's
a deranged
psycho.
He's a serial killer. But I consider
Killer
Joker
Croc.
to be... Killer Croc, yeah.
He's not really a sympathetic guy. He's just...
No, but Victor Freeze is because
he is.
He didn't want to be like this.
No,
he didn't want to be. He didn't want to be what he is, like to be a metahuman that's frozen. He wanted to save his wife, and the people. Remember in the animated series, they did that perfectly. How we see him just being, a scientist trying to solve his wife, and the people that were hired him didn't want that. So what they do, they actually got him killed. They pushed him into the fucking vat of, what was it again? What did he get poured in? Like he got pushed into like a vat of, what's the stuff? And he got mutated into like a cryogenic human. Liquid nitrogen. That's why he got pushed into a vat of liquid nitrogen, and it was experimental too. It was not your regular liquid nitrogen. And it turned him into this, into a giant human cold vessel where he needs to be constantly freeze below sub-zero temperatures, otherwise he'll die. And he just wants to cure his wife. And we see that a lot, especially in the Arkham universe. When Arkham City come around, which still has to date the best boss battle with Mr. Freeze ever, I love that version. If Reeves can take inspiration, take it from Arkham. Especially with that version of Mr. Freeze, but like also take inspiration from the animated series as well for Mr. Freeze and the comics.
See, I reckon they do it in a different way around. It's a grounded world. I reckon what they would do instead is instead of using a freeze gun, is I don't think the freeze gun would actually work well in this universe.
No, I think
he would actually fucking either cryogenic them or he'll put them into like a big ice box and he'll actually freeze them that way.
one thing I actually would like is, and it would be really cool, instead of him having a freeze gun, he wears like, a cryogenic suit, but he actually admits coldness. He blasts cold at people, not a gun.
Yeah, I'm just thinking in this world, I don't think that type of stuff would suit the world that Matt Reeves has set up. You see
Again,
what I
though,
mean? Like, I think,
I
you know,
know.
they're
But a
trying to
cold
grab
gun could
everything.
work. I think a cold gun could work in a way, and there's a reason why. Because the cool thing is, technology like that would work because Batman invents that type of technology. It could be something that he steals from Wayne Industries, perhaps.
Yeah, it could be. I just kind of see.
Could be
I'll also see people then referencing that as like, oh, they're just copying Iron Man stuff now. I mean, look at
no.
Far From Home. Like, it's all, the whole aspect of that is people that worked for Stark Industries. So I could see that aspect of people going, oh, well, now they're just copying Marvel. Whereas
I know, but I think as well,
if they keep things grounded, it might be a whole different aspect.
Or it could be, for instance, maybe he, got weapons from Penguin, and this is one of the weapons that Penguin had. Good. He steals it from. It could be that. Look, honestly, a cold gun could work in Reeves' universe because I know Reeves could make it fit. I know he could. Again, he wants to do a Mr. Freeze story, and we've only ever had Mr. Freeze in the movies once, and I think you know which movie I'm talking about.
Hey, the one that we loved as children?
As children, yes. As adults, I wonder what the fuck I was on when I was a kid. Probably too much goddamn sugar, but just
it's good as a kid film.
I have a casting announcement. Arnold Schwarzenegger is returning as Mr. Freeze. All right, Batman, chill. Jesus Christ, don't. If there's one casting thing to ever bring back, don't bring back Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
Look,
so laughable.
Actually, a bad choice.
I know, but I don't think
because he got dealt with a bad script. I think it's just.
Oh god, the script for Batman and Robin was just awful. Like, I hate the line.
Why does he get a car? Chicks dig the car.
Chicks dig the car. This is why Superman will kill her. Shut up, Robin. No, the bit that I hate the most is when Robin goes to see Poison Ivy, and he just says to her the most corniest line ever: "Rubber lips are immune against your charms." I'm just thinking.
You forget about the back card.
Oh god. Card. I'm glad Patterson doesn't have a back credit card. I'm so glad for that. But let's go back to let's be serious.
I mean, I want to know who else, what other villains you could see that's grounded into this world. As much as the Riddler.
As the Riddler, you could really do.
Actually, we forgot to mention.
You could do
We forgot to mention one big fucking Easter egg.
What was that one?
In the scene back at the manor, at the orphanage.
Oh yeah, Hush! Oh my god, he made a reference to fucking Hush, and I nearly lost my shit because Batman Hush is one of my favorite comic book storylines.
It's one of the best Batman.
It's one of the best ones. And when you saw that, you were like,
when I saw, I just
grabbed me. Hush! They made a reference to Hush, and I was like, oh, so good. But no, look. There is one.
I think that was the thing too. Like everyone else in the cinema was like, oh yeah, and I'm like, fucking Hush.
But you said that you want to know another character that could really fit well into the universe of Reeves' Batman. Mad Hatter would be fucking perfect for an absolute mind bender because again, he could fit in this universe because he has fucking mind control shit that messes with fucking Batman's mind.
And you know what?
Another character?
You could easily do it through like hackings of phones and taking over that way.
Another character that I think would fit.
Killer Croc won't fit in this world. I 100% agree that will not work. Killer Croc will not fit in this world.
Scarecrow could.
Yeah, Scarecrow could.
Oh, Techie, we have a spam follower there. Would you like to get rid of that, please? Thank you. But yeah, Scarecrow could work, 100%. Bane could as well. Bane could fit in this fucking universe.
Bane could easily work, and they better. And you know what? In my opinion,
do Nightfall.
I reckon. Well, yeah, but they kind of did Nightfall and Dark Knight Rises.
I know, but again,
it was disappointing because it wasn't Bane. in my opinion.
No,
That's
it
not
was
Bane.
just. Would you prefer that Bane, or would you prefer the Batman and Robin version of Bane?
At least the Batman and Robin version Bane actually had some things right.
Yeah, only subtly, but he didn't even do
He
anything.
had the Venom. The mask
Yeah,
was accurate.
but
He
it
was a
was still.
prisoner. He was an actual prisoner.
I know, but he was just a mindless brute. I'm sorry, I cannot defend the
He
Batman
was a
and Robin.
mindless brute. I agree on that.
He was just a goon. He wasn't even smart. He was just like, boom, boom, boom. I'm sorry.
They at least
I'm
got
gonna
3
disagree
parts
with
right
you on this.
compared to Dark Knight Rises. Bane.
But Dark Knight Rises Bane is fucking smart. He's intelligent. He's also a fucking powerhouse. He manages to beat the shit out of Batman.
Yeah, but for me, it was like the mask was all wrong. Well, I understand why you can change the mask. That's not for me. That's not that much of a deal. But the Venom. Where the fuck was the Venom? He was on a breathing apparatus. He was literally a fake version of Darth Vader. The fire rises. What the fuck have you done here?
I have to. I'm really gonna heat form this again. It's shrunk a little bit, but no. Look, I like this. I reckon this is cool. I don't care what people fucking say. This was so cool. But again, I would have changed the mask a bit. Have it be more of the luchador type of style. I love that look for Bane. It's always been my favorite. You know.
Yeah.
But I can understand why they went for this version. What about Catwoman and Harley Quinn team up to kill the Batman?
I mean,
I don't know.
I wouldn't put it past that. I wouldn't put it past it. I would actually kind of be down.
I'd be down. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. But again, you know, we got to talk. Again, another character that could fit well. Scarecrow could fit well. Bane could fit well. Mad Hatter could fit well. I'd love to see Mad Hatter in a Batman movie for live action. He did another character.
Yeah, it'd be a nice change.
Firefly could fucking work as well. You know, just a freaking crazy ass arsonist that's just burning down buildings and everything, just going nuts.
Anarchy, actually, I think would work.
Anarchy could work. Anarchy could really work. Who else is there? Is there any characters? You know, we've found.
There's a lot in the road.
There's a lot of Batman villains could work. Really could. I would love it as well. And this might be a bit of a take, but it could work. You could do Solomon Grundy too. You could do Grundy.
Yeah, you probably could do. But the one that that actually hinted at, and which I'm surprised we didn't even mention, other than Hush, that was nodded at, the Court of Owls.
Yes. Oh my God. If they do Court of Owls for live action, that would be. I think that'd be the perfect way to have for a big finale, alongside with Batman dealing with the Joker, but also having to deal with the court.
Yeah,
that would be insane. I think I would lose it if they did the Court of Owls. I mean,
Calendar Man could work. Black Mask obviously can definitely work.
Black Mask can fucking work in any Batman movie. He'd be great. Hugo Strange, yeah. He's one of the few people to find out who Batman is. I love that. Hugo Strange. There's so many characters you could do, and I hope Reeves chooses the right character for the next one. And I trust him. I really do. This man has made I've seen Reeves' films, and he did so good. Nobody talking about Deathstroke? Well, look, I love Deathstroke. I do. But I don't think he would fit. I mean, he could fit in Reeves' universe, but just not the Joe Manganiello version. I love Joe Manganiello.
No, it won't be that. It won't be that. That's connecting to the DCEU, and they don't want that with this.
Yeah, so I don't think so. Deathstroke fits more for the Titans universe, and I love Titans too. I love Titans.
I'm looking at some others. Believe it or not, I'd have to say Professor Pig could work, actually.
Yeah, Professor Pig could work. I loved him in Arkham Knight. You know, trying to figure out who he was and going for all the clues and stuff like that. It's so creepy.
I think at the end of the day, I think it should be Mr. Freeze, but I do think Zaz would be a very good villain. That would really set up the darkness and the and the grittiness and the downright shittiness of Gotham City in this world.
Hang on.
Zaz would fit in absolutely well.
I'm just gonna check Batman's villains list and see if there's anybody we missed.
There's a lot. There's like Ventriloquist and Scarface.
All right, so who have we got? So of course we got Bane,
Clayface,
Black
Clock
Mask,
King,
Clayface. Yeah. Another one, Deadshot. Oh,
KG
Deadshot.
Beast.
Deadshot would be cool, but Deadshot fits with DCEU because of doesn't matter anyways. J. Jones will take over DC soon and ruin everything. I
No, I'm
don't
not
think
saying that you
so.
can't have like people that have connected to the DCEU, but it can't
Mm.
be the same actor.
Yeah. Also, I
Then
don't
that
think
way
J.
you are connecting it.
Just want to answer Fuzz's question there. I don't think J.J. Abrams has any involvement with DC anyway.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. J.J. Abrams has no involvement with DC whatsoever. In fact, he's got no involvement with this film anyway. It's all Matt Reeves' work. He's the one that came up with the script. I believe he did. Was it Reeves that came up with the script?
Reeves and shit, what's his name?
Give me a second. I'm just gonna go check it. I'm just checking on Wikipedia right now. Give me a second. So this was written by Matt Reeves and Peter Craig. Peter Craig is American novelist and screenwriter. He wrote the Batman.
Do you know what else he helped write? As far as I'm aware, let me have a look.
What, Peter Craig?
Yeah, give me a minute.
I'm checking out filmography. He wrote The Town. He also wrote The Town, Hunger Games, Bloodfather, 12
I thought somebody mentioned that he did stuff for The Mandalorian, but that's not right.
Hang on, I'm checking his filmography.
Oh, he's done Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, he did Top Gun Maverick, which is pretty cool.
Bad Boys for Life.
Yep, he did Bad Boys for Life. J. Abrams signed a contract to be the
Gladiator 2.
Hang on, I'm going to check that. Fuzz Aldrin is saying that J. Abrams signed to be a new DCEU showrunner last year. Hang on, I'm checking this.
I know he was doing a Superman comic arc.
No, 5th of May, 2021. He won't direct a Superman remake. No, he won't. He won't be. It's
New Worlds.
Yeah, New Worlds. But again, I don't know. I don't know about that. But again, I don't know. Look, do I think J.J. Abrams is a bad film director? No. Have you seen Star Trek movies he did? They're incredible. I don't get why people shit on J.J. Abrams because what? Is there too much
lens flare?
There's too much lens. That's exactly what I was going to say. There's too much lens flare. But no, I reckon J.J. Abrams is great. Look, I know he didn't have a good run with the Star Wars the Star Wars music. Yeah, not his fault. It's the studio involvement's fault. That's what happens. There's too much. Yeah, a little bit of a cough there. But anyway, like I said, let's get back to the Batman. Potential villains that could really work. There are a bunch of villains that could really work, but again, they have to fit with the grounded universe type of look. We've already done Riddler, we've done Penguin, and we've done Catwoman as well, which I think is brilliant. Firefly could definitely work. Hugo Strange, we talked about. Hush. Not Killer Croc. Definitely not Killer Moth. No. Mad Hatter, definitely. How about Man Bat?
No.
I'm sorry. I have to disagree with you, Fuzz. I don't think Star Trek's ruined. I sit down and watch the Star Trek movies with my dad.
It brought out a lot of people, a new generation to Star Trek. So you have to kind of... I get what you're saying because there are quite a lot of Star Trek fans out there that has ruined Star Trek, and I get that. But you have to also look at it that it's also brought a whole new generation of people to Star Trek.
It's not J.J. Abrams.
I was never that much of a Star Trek fan. I've always been Star Wars.
Same. I've never been much of a Star Trek fan myself.
It was thanks to these new movies by J.J. That actually kind of made me get into it a little bit. Not fully, not heavily like Star Wars, but it got me a little bit interested into some Star Trek stuff for sure. So I do have to say that it may be ruined to some people that are Star Trek fans, but it also helped the brand.
You know what? Another villain that we didn't talk about, Ra's al Ghul could fit here this universe.
It very well could.
Very well could. Riddler, Scarecrow, of course, Solomon Grundy, Two-Face, we talked about. Ventriloquist as well for Scarface. I love that. Victor Zsasz, of course. Anarchy, yup. Talk about that.
Going back to Mr. Freeze, though, and then I think we should probably end this. Who would you cast? I gave you a good casting choice last night, but
I've forgotten what you said. Is this for Mr. Freeze?
for Mr. Freeze.
That's a good question. Let me check that back. Give me a second. I'm gonna check that. You said to me last night who could be cast. Sorry, just seeing. Oh yeah. You said Giancarlo.
Yeah, Giancarlo.
Is that Giancarlo Esposito? Giancarlo?
Yeah.
Is that Giancarlo
Esposito. Yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito. He could work. Oh man. But there is another actor that I think could work as well. And that's Ralph Fiennes. Fiennes could do that look for Mr. Freeze. He could do a really good Mr. Freeze. He really could.
Yeah.
I can see him. He's got that look. Yeah, he's got the look of the animated series. Oh, for goodness. No. Fuzz just said Will Poulter. He's already doing he's in a Marvel movie, isn't he? Doesn't have to doing Adam Warlock?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So,
all of these guys have been in a Marvel movie except for Patterson.
This is his first comic book movie.
Yeah.
Love that though. But the cool thing about with Ralph Fiennes,
I mean, I can definitely see him though. I'm having a look at Will Poulter here, and I can see him. I actually can see him. If they kind of if they get Mr. Freeze to be roughly the same age as Bruce, then yeah, definitely. But
look, see there, like I can see Fiennes doing this version. Like that's the animated series. I see Ralph Fiennes here, and I think that's absolutely brilliant. I've always loved this look for Mr. Freeze. I always have appreciated the animated series look because it's so like classic, but also not classic. It's just terrifying because just it looks so good compared to other versions. You know, with the new, with New Batman Adventures. With the new Batman Adventures, they made it even more terrifying. So they went away from that classic one to basically do that look. And I like that because I see Fiennes doing this and doing it brilliantly. He could do it. But then again, Giancarlo Esposito could do it as well. I would love Giancarlo Esposito. He can play great villains. But I see Giancarlo Esposito. He could do Mr. Freeze. But he could also do a pretty damn good Two-Face as well. I could see him doing Two-Face. Because remember, they were meant to do it.
That, going back to like the 80s stuff, that's the one thing that pissed me off because it was a continuation, roughly, of the Tim Burton stuff. And in Batman Returns, you had one of the best actors of all fucking time playing Harvey Dent. And then you change him.
And then you change him. Yeah, Billy D. Williams was... I find it funny as well that Billy D. Williams, in the cast on Google, he just says Two-Face. He's not Two-Face in this movie. I loved it as well. So Billy D. Williams was Harvey Dent, but he was barely in the movie. He was only in a few scenes.
I know.
It sucks, because he's just really good.
Anyway, guys, we've been live for pretty much 3 hours now.
And we need to wrap this up. So all right, this is going to be now officially our final rating for the Batman. We've had a full-on week. It's been about a week since we last seen the movie. For me, it's been a week tomorrow. Techie, what is your final rating for the Batman directed by Matt Reeves for 2022?
My final rating is actually 9.5.
So you're keeping that? Now.
Yeah, I am keeping that. I do kind of agree with Fuzz that there are parts where it does feel a little bit slow.
Yes, I can agree with that one.
And that it is quite long.
But it needs
to be.
It needs to be because a lot of things are connected. And it's like with like George Lucas said with certain things of scenes of Star Wars that he wants to delete and get rid of, but he can't. I have to sorry, Fuzz, I have to disagree on that one. It's not a 1 out of 5. I have to disagree on that one. Sorry.
Yeah. do too, Fuzz. Unfortunately, I mean, look,
Unfortunately,
that's your opinion. That's your
that
experience
is
that
your
you have.
opinion.
And
Again, hmm,
but for me, yeah, I say it's a 9.5. I think it's actually a phenomenal piece of work.
yeah,
Um,
same with me.
but
I'm gonna agree with you. My rating
um,
for it is a 9.5.
yeah,
I'm agreeing with you on this one. It's a phenomenal film. This is an incredible Batman movie. It brings something so different to the table, and it delivers on everything. It delivers on the look, the execution, the way Gotham feels, the way Batman feels. It feels like a true Batman detective story, and it was phenomenal, and I loved it, and I cannot wait for the continuation of this universe. I'm so excited for the spin-offs with Penguin and Arkham, specifically Arkham, because I've always wanted to know more about the Arkham family.
yeah, I think that was a
Okay.
nice little tie-in.
Hmm.
Um,
Fuzzer
but
said 1 is below average, 2 is average, 3 is recommended, 4 above average, 5 god tier. The Batman was a 1 out of 5. I'm still have to disagree with you, Fuzz. I think it's higher than that. I think it's
yeah,
a
I think it is.
9.5 out of 10. It's a 9.5 out of 10 for me. It's a great friggin' film. I don't get your
I
again,
look,
if you have your opinion
yeah,
here, I completely understand. I completely
yeah.
understand. I'm not gonna try and argue about it. That's just me.
I do think so. For me, I felt like with this movie, it's like you opened up a comic,
Yeah.
a big omnibus, really, of
Mm,
a world of Batman, and
yeah.
it's something we've always been calling for a Batman film, and we finally got it.
Yeah, I can agree on that one.
Um, I definitely recommend anyone to go and see it, and don't hold for me personally. Don't hold out for a streaming service or like for physical release. This movie needs to be seen in cinema. To the point
It
that
needs
even Matt Reeves has been sending letters to cinemas for a certain way that this film needs to be experienced.
it needs to be experienced in V. It needs to be experienced in IMAX, or even better. I want to go check out that cinema that you sent me, the 4DX.
It's a
Ever at
Chermside.
was it? Yeah, Chermside. We need to go see it in 4DX. I want to go try it. We totally should.
I'm down for that.
I'm down for that too. I want to. So let's talk about that after the show. We need to
Uh,
wrap this up, guys.
I was just going
Holy
to
crap!
mention about the special request. So I was going to read out the letter that Matt Reeves has sent to the cinemas.
Yeah, go for
It
it.
says, "Dear theater owners and projectionists, I am truly excited to bring you the Batman exclusively in theaters. I worked with my team for a very long time to create a unique story that had a very specific look to Gotham and these great characters. The lighting and color timing that went into capturing this look was very important to me because transporting our audiences to a place they've never experienced before is why they come to the cinema. To ensure your audiences enjoy the film the way I intended it, please have your projectors calibrated to achieve at least 14 FL. Let's give the audience the best experience possible. Thank you and enjoy the show, Matt Reeves." So yeah, 14-foot Lamberts. The unit of measure used by the motion picture industry to specify how much light should be reflected off the movie screen in a 1 foot by 1 foot area.
Sorry, Techie. We got another comment here from Fuzz. He said the biggest problem with movie ratings, people are too generous with their scores. The Dark Knight was a 9.5, not the new
See, I
Batman.
disagree.
I have to disagree. Sorry. I
Um,
love The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is one of my favorite films. It's one of the best. It's still an absolutely spectacular
it changed.
Batman movie.
Look! It changed similar again, just like Star Wars did. But for me,
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing that people are taking away from the Dark Knight, though, if is Heath Ledger's performance.
and Heath Ledger's.
If you take him away, it's a very bland movie.
Yeah, it
Really,
is.
it's him that's
Ledger.
fully going on with the story. It's following him. It was not really a Batman movie. It was a Joker movie.
Yeah,
And again, if it wasn't because of Heath Ledger's absolutely brilliant performance and the fact that he also died before the film came out,
it's really sad too. He never got to
it
see his work.
yeah, but because it has that behind it as well, I feel like that's why people are very generous with their scores for the Dark Knight.
Again, I love The Dark Knight. I always will, but I love this movie more than The Dark Knight because it brings something so different to the table for Batman. And that's all I have to say about that. All right, guys. Holy crap. We have been live now for, what is it now, Techie? About almost close to
Yeah,
three,
2 hours 55 minutes.
2 hours.
So,
Man, we're going to wrap this
all
up,
right.
guys. This has been our spoiler
You can follow us
podcast.
here at the Techie and Talon Show on our TikTok page, where we post some of the stuff from our shows. You can also follow us here on Facebook at the Techie and Talon Show, where we are currently live right now. Hello, everyone that's watching on Facebook. And also on YouTube, where Fuzz Aldrin is currently watching us. Go and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, we are now live on Twitch as well at the Techie and Talon Show. You can also follow us at our Instagram at the Techie and Talon Show, where we'll let you know when we're about to go live.
We appreciate it.
Maybe post some behind the scenes stuff later on, and also on Twitter at Talon_show. All right.
Oh, man, this was a long one, but we appreciate people who come by and gave their talks and that. We appreciate you guys checking in. This will be
Buzz,
uploaded
look,
on.
I have to say though, like, even though we kind of disagree, thank you for sticking by with us for the show tonight. It's been a
We
long
appreciate
one. And I'm glad that you actually enjoyed the show. We will be posting this up on Spotify as well a bit later.
that.
So if you want to, you can listen to it on Spotify. But yeah, if you haven't already, thanks for watching, and also, hit the subscribe button and ring that hit that bell so you'll know that when we're going live, and follow us on our other platforms that we just mentioned.
Well then, that's it.
We were going to do another regular show this week, but I think we might
But
skip that for this week.
Yep.
We are in talks with a special guest. We won't say who. To come onto the show at some point, and we'll let you know when everything's all been finalized. But let's just say I'm really looking forward to that show.
I am too, absolutely.
It'll be a different type of show for sure, but I can't wait.
I can't wait too.
All
Holy
right,
crap!
Well,
let's do it.
My name is Techie,
and my name's Talon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.